So if you go 1 kilometer over whatever the posted speed limit is, the dashboard flashes at you. If you go 5% over, so 2 and a 40 or 4 and an 80, it starts to chime at you.
Oh my God.
If the seatbelt, if driver or passenger seatbelt isn't on, it chimes and doesn't stop. And when you pick up speed, it chimes louder and faster. The lane control system is super aggressive. And so you don't have to cross a line. You have to get anywhere near a line and it will yank you back into the middle of the lane.
Good grief.
And then the second car we got was called a Lynk, L-Y-N-K. It's a joint venture between Gita, which is Chinese, and Volvo. So basically it's a Volvo SUV. And it had facial recognition. So if I look out the window at a church or I look down at the screen for more than a second and a half, it says, "Pay attention to the road and drive carefully." I yawned. It said, "Drowsy driving is unsafe."
Holy moly.
At one point, I put my hand over my face. I was rubbing my nose. I said, "Facial recognition is not working." So just endless. And you can turn all those things off, but every time you stop for gas and you turn the car off, it resets to mother-in-law. So you have to remember to reset everything every time you get in the car.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
it's horrible.
Oh, that's much too much.
Yeah.
Much too much.
It was awful. All right, so now let's see if I can get into this meeting. If I can get into this meeting, then I can drive everything over here and not worry about it.
There you go.
So what's Carl up to tonight that he's not gonna make it?
He's going to a concert in Saratoga.
Oh, nice. I didn't think of Carl as a concert sort of guy.
No, I think he's a wife or kids or something. They got him one for his birthday and one for, I don't know, one from last Christmas or something. And he'd forgotten about it and
Yeah, well, good for him.
till Kim told him that was tonight.
Join the meeting. It is
I
asking.
saw him at the store this morning just for a minute or two.
Well, that's good. I hope he has a great time.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, we're gonna.
He said you played hooky tonight, and I said, well, I guess I was going to, but
Yeah.
I guess I can now.
All right. So now this is co-host.
Oh, God, you gotta be
Yes.
kidding me.
All right. Okay. Here's on.
Hello.
Good
Terry,
evening.
hi Herb.
Hi, Jenny, how are you? Thank you for all
Did you get the one
the
I sent
budget
this
things. The
afternoon?
one this
Yeah, I
afternoon.
figured that might,
Yeah.
Synopsis was.
Synopsis,
How are you?
yeah.
Good.
cause, yeah.
Hey, is it?
Welcome home.
Good, thank you.
Very good.
Good.
All right. Anybody here from Bill? Do we know if he's got a bus route tonight or if he'll be here?
He told me he's coming.
Okay. His last chance to spend money before he's a
Right?
civilian.
Mhm.
Do you think we're gonna talk about the,
building manager thing?
yeah,
Yeah.
should I make some copies of it?
Sure, that'd be great. Cool. Hey, Patty.
Patty?
Hi, Patty.
Absolutely. Just got your email, Terry, thanks.
Oh. Yeah, thank you.
So we are recording. Welcome to Select Board, probably the last functional meeting of this fiscal year. We will be meeting once more this year, but this is kind of our last opportunity to make amendments to the coming year. Are there any additions to or deletions from the agenda as it was presented?
I have a draft that Patty helped with on talking about the responsibilities of the Middletown Springs Facilities Manager. I'd like to put.
Good. We will add that to the agenda under town lands. Very good.
Traffic safety.
Traffic safety.
Cemetery, old cemetery.
Very good. All right.
I'll add one more thing. I don't know specifically, there's always a space for the listers, but we do have the contract for the reappraisal agreement. It's
Yes.
not specifically called out.
Yeah, we got it after this was published here, so very good. All right. Terry, what's our roll call look like?
Well, let me know if I miss anybody, but we have Herb Childress, Terry Redfield, Isaac, Town Treasurer Jenny Talkie Muniak, Town Clerk Patty Kenyon, Lister Sally Hockey, Pat Hemingway, Road Foreman Bill Reed, Meredith Morgan on Zoom, Pete Stevenson, members of the public, Pete Stevenson, Don Hemingway, Robert McMahon, and Kevin Eaton.
Okay. Anybody missing? Good. And we have Meredith online. Excellent. So first order of business, approval of the minutes of our meeting of May 22nd.
For our minutes of May 22nd, this will go into tonight's minutes, but there was just a slight correction, not a correction, but an addition, or just a little more verbiage, a little different verbiage relative to the landscaping plans that Eileen Stevenson talked about. I believe that's the last paragraph on page 1.
Okay.
And I just want to say something relative to the landscaping plans around the new town office. Eileen Stevenson wanted to note that she and a few other volunteers are reiterating their offer made to the board a year ago. Good, and I'll just put that in on tonight's minutes.
All right. Any further commentary on those minutes? Hearing none. Do we hear a motion?
I would move to accept the regular meeting minutes.
Thank you.
I guess I'll second, because we're about the only ones here, and Herb
That's right.
wasn't here, so.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
And I will abstain.
You can't do that.
I have to. I didn't.
Well, you don't have to abstain, but you can't move the minutes if you don't have enough people.
Yeah, we gotta have
Wait till
3.
next time.
Either if you, or you can approve them, if you can approve them
You can
without
approve
having
them.
been here.
I could. I feel a little uncomfortable about it because I can't say that it was an accurate record of the meeting.
Well, that's fine. I'm just saying, you can't approve them because you don't have enough people.
Right,
So you have to revisit next
well,
time.
we can revisit them next time.
I'll vote it.
There you go. That's all right.
All right. Is anybody here as a member of the general public who would like to speak? Kevin?
Thank you for having me here. And this is just a request because I don't know where to turn, but I talked to Patty earlier today. As I was mowing my lawn last night, I saw near the southwest corner of my property, a tree with a big branch that had fallen down, and it's pretty close to the school.
Mhm.
It might be in the town right away. I do not know that, but it has the look that it could be. So my request is if I could get the road crew or somebody to look at that to see if it is in the town right away of Schoolhouse Road.
Yeah.
Because God forbid we wouldn't want that to fall down and injure somebody.
Yeah.
The tree looks pretty in good shape, just a big branch, sits about 12 to 15 feet high.
Mhm. Now, I drove up there and saw it was sort of leaning on the ground, propped up.
Correct.
It's up by the basketball court. I think it's beyond
Yes.
the road.
I did get your message. I went up and looked at it this afternoon. It wouldn't be a problem. I think it's out of the right of way. I didn't measure it, but it looks to be out of the right of way. But where it's a safety thing, we could knock that branch down with the backhoe. The only thing is that tree, if you look up in the top,
Mhm.
that's where the hazard is. Because if we start messing around and like knocking that branch down, there's some dead stuff in the top of there that's probably 50 feet up. And that could come down, and that's where the hazard would be. Especially with all the leaves on and everything, you can't really see what's there.
Right.
But that is a potential. We don't have a tree warden. That would be a potential probably for the landowner to have some pruning done.
Okay. And that very well might be in Lois and Paul's property. I honestly don't know. As I just mow my lawn, I saw a big branch come down, I'm like, that's not too safe,
I
so.
mean, we do have a lot of tree professionals in town. Maybe we could give them their name. If not, we won't do that. No, we don't. Usually the general practice for the highway is if it's standing and it's on your property, it's yours. If it comes down in the right way of the road, then it's ours. We don't go looking to,
So the town right away, is that 25 feet from the center line of the road, is that right?
that one, I'm not sure. With the Schoolhouse Road, I'm not sure what the layout is. We could probably look and see, but I don't think it's within the,
Yeah.
even if it's 25 foot right away, I don't think it's.
I mean, personally, if it came down, that particular branch that came down, I could take it from there, but I don't have the know-how or the tools to knock that thing down.
No, I'd feel comfortable putting that on the ground for you. We're not gonna clean it up, obviously.
I'll do that, I can do that.
It's, I'm quite sure that is out of the right.
Sure. If you'd be willing to do that, get on the ground, I'll take it from there.
We should all be aware too, is our senator from Iowa said, Joni Ernst, every tree is gonna be dead at some point in time.
Yeah.
She mentioned people.
That's right.
Just bear that in mind, every tree that we see,
That's right.
maybe we're not all gonna see it, but
All gonna be dead.
every flipping one of them will be dead at some point in time. And yeah, usually that's when folks get concerned, when it's their tree, and when it's wherever, if it's close to the house, close to the road, close to a power line or whatever. It's my tree and they don't want anybody even touching it, sometimes even looking at it. But when it's dead or something, broken branch or something, then it's your tree.
Come fix it.
I mean, if I felt that was in the right of way of the road, then we would have to get something done because it's been addressed. So that does put some level of liability. We've got other issues with trees that we're trying to deal with. And there's some pretty potential hazards. And because we have people that think that they know more than we do, then nothing's being done. So really, if something happens, we're at a liability. So, but you bringing it up, that's why I did go look at it, and we'll do what we can on the safety end of it to help you out.
Thank you.
I'll get back to you, Kevin, and let you know what.
Yeah,
I think if you look up through the leaves and everything, you can see a lot of dead stuff in the very top. And that right now, to me, that's where the hazard is.
I don't disagree. I didn't take that perspective on the tree. I wasn't looking at that, I was just looking at the thing that fell down.
All right, good, thank you for that.
Thank you for your time.
Any other members of the general public who don't have town office things to raise?
I'll say mine.
Go ahead.
For buildings.
Okay, good. All right, in that case, we will roll into town officers report. First one on our list is town clerk.
I have website and Old Cemetery, which, do you want me to save Old Cemetery
No,
for
let's
town
do it.
lands, or you want me to?
Let's do it, you go home.
Okay.
Do you-
I sent everybody a proposal for a recommendation for a website redesign. If I have a copy here, if anybody wants a copy. And so the request is that either this meeting or the following meeting, the board authorizes me to sign the contract. Basically, the firm is the cheapest firm that we found. It actually has better, I feel, there are better features than some of the other more expensive firms, and it's definitely cheaper yearly price. It's competitive in the first year price with this is for Town Web with Catalyst. It's competitive in the first year. But beyond that, their price is $2,000 a year. This one is $1,200 a year for 3 years, $1,220 for 3 years. Anybody have questions about the website, or do you want another week to be able to look through things and look at things? And
I was glad to see the first one from Essex Junction, I think. And they had websites for a whole bunch of different towns, and, and I think it was like a 21-page proposal and all this, and it sounded really great, really top shelf, and the price was really top shelf. But then the one you're talking about, I can't remember where they're from, but
Wisconsin.
in Wisconsin, okay. I was pleased that, or kind of relieved or whatever, that was the one that you were pleased with and seemed to
And this is the
recommend,
one
and I think that
we did
works with me.
the most recently. We had the presentation. Beyond, so one of the things that I felt like was it could be a really great feature for us is that there are, built in your website is an ability for townspeople to subscribe. They can say, I want to get the select board agenda, I want to get, there'll be a huge menu of things. They can subscribe to everything. They can subscribe to just, I want to know what the select board's doing, I want to know what the planning commission's doing, any one of those things. Town newsletter only, emergency updates only, but they can subscribe. So even, that gives also the ability for the clerk of the board, of any board, to build their own list that they can then, when they can post the agenda on the website, and once they do, or the agenda can be posted by me, but once that's done, all the board members would get a copy of it, along with whoever subscribed.
Right, any
So that you don't have to, on your own, send it out. And if there's other material, that would also, it automatically sends an email. We don't have to think about it. And people are notified automatically as long as they're subscribed.
And along with the agenda, it has the opportunity to build a board packet. So you can add things that will be under consideration. You can add the old minutes, just all of that. It's just, there it is, right?
And it goes out to anyone who says they want it.
Yeah.
And I think that's amazing, because I spend a lot of my time. How come I didn't get this?
Right.
Fielding that and, trying to make sure, we will have to have training on, and it's not gonna solve the problem of people not doing what they're supposed to be doing, but as long as the things get up there, or that the communication happens, those other pieces will be automatic with it. So, anyway.
I appreciate all the background work you did on that. It's a big deal.
Can I see that?
Absolutely.
I only received the one with the top shelf price.
You did, because the others were links
Okay.
in this
Oh, yeah,
document.
yeah.
They were live links in that document.
When would they be able to start working?
When we talked to them, they said they could be, it was pretty quick. There wasn't like a big lead time,
Okay.
like 5 or 6 weeks maybe.
5 or 6 weeks till they start, or 5 or 6 weeks
So,
until
till
it's
it's,
started?
to do the project. Now, whether, they didn't say, I assumed they could start within a couple of weeks, right?
Right.
Once we would sign up.
And does it have the capability to attach a payment portal?
Yeah, I mean,
know
those
we
are
sort of
just,
talked
yeah,
about
those
that,
are just links that would go out to another place, just like if we had our land records online, it would just be a link that goes out into Nimerick and, yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, we felt pretty comfortable with that. I mean, these people, this is what they do.
Yeah.
They do these things for municipalities. One of the things that I liked about it is the person we talked to, who's one of the, designers, or I don't know what you call those people, but whenever he does the actual work and maps out how the websites work. He used to be a town clerk.
That's helpful, very helpful.
So they kind of know what people are looking for, and yeah, and if anyone wants to look at a website they've done, the one that drew me in was the town of Vernon. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I had a chance to look at 4 or 5 of their websites, and they're graphically pretty similar. You can, have your own sort of color vocabulary, your own landing photos and whatnot, but they're pretty straightforward navigation. So they've got a pretty stable template
Right,
that they use from place to place.
right, and it's based on, you want to know the latest minutes, you want to see, they have banners that go across the top if there's something happening, like the road closures or whatever that you want people to call out, or if you're having, you could put strawberry jams happening, whatever it is, strawberry festival, whatever you want, right? And one of the cool things that Vernon does is, on their homepage, they have a little, their town clerk or whoever runs their website every day puts a little thing in there like, oh, it's sunny today, it's this and that, and,
Yeah.
it's very cute.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
They haven't
good.
been active for a while.
I mean, there's a
No, every
little,
day. And
there's a
then
little widget that you can install that will actually give current weather conditions.
Yeah.
That could be one of your choices up in the banner.
yeah,
After they create it and publish it, who maintains it after that point and updates it?
so that's the beauty of these websites versus a WordPress website.
Yeah.
They continually keep the software and the platforms and the accessibility and all those things up to date. And they, we maintain it, we put the
We post
content in.
material, yeah.
And if they, are there to answer questions and help us put content in if we need it, but, and do training, but and we decide what things are important to us to be in the menus and all of that stuff. Whether, and we have a pretty good idea of what people, we have pages on our current website that no one's ever populated. Because we had high hopes that all this stuff and people would use it, and so we won't put those pages up. Things like that. We're just gonna stick to the things that, start simple and then build from there, I believe. That's my vision.
So Patty, when you say we can update the website, I know what finesse it, that's my word, but does we mean, like, if I have a page for treasurer, I can update it? Or you're gonna be the point person? With
Either
your
one,
vision?
it just completely depends, right? If you want to have access to the portal, you can have access to the portal and you can be trained how to update your own page,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Like, the hope is that people who are on boards, the chairs and the clerks will be able to put their own packets up there and they don't have to rely on me, or their administrator can do that.
Right.
Not relying on me to do but for
That's
people
a
who
lot.
can't, I do it. And doing it is not hard, because it's usually just uploading a file, right? It's not that big of a deal. What is difficult are the people who don't send you their minutes and their, don't post their agendas, don't, you know, they just aren't in the habit of doing it, and no matter how many times I tell them they're supposed to, it doesn't matter.
And that's true. That's true whether it's a
everywhere.
website or 1943,
Exactly, that
right?
makes
So-
right, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those frustrating things, so I realize that I'm gonna be still doing the things that I do for the most part, but there will be added features and ease of use and ease of content. More people will use the website. If you can pull it up on a phone and click a link. You can't do that on ours now.
So are we ready to consider this tonight, or are we gonna have a look at it next bring it back 2 weeks?
I mean, you only have 3 members here. Maybe you wanna give your other people a chance. I don't know.
Well, I think I'm comfortable with moving it along. We've talked about it since we were gonna use
Right.
ARPA funds on it.
2021, we've been working on it.
I'm sure Sean's. on
Things have
board,
changed
but-
totally since then. We were gonna go with the person we have now, but
Right.
it's just like one of those websites is just, there's too much building, too much need for a coder. These people, we don't have, we don't need any of that.
One-stop shop.
We're just gonna put content in.
We had money budgeted in this year's budget, I believe also.
This, for July 1 is what
Or is
I'm
it
working
July
for, which
1?
is 3,500,
Okay,
is to
so-
get this first year and get started as soon as possible, because this summer is not so busy here, and I have time to do that.
I don't have a problem moving it forward if you wanna.
I would make a motion then to accept the contract from Town Web for website redesign and maintenance.
Well, I'm gonna talk to, because what they sent us, we can't sign.
Right.
So I was asking you to authorize me to sign the contract for Town Web for that amount of money.
Okay. I will amend the motion for that. That's fine.
It's-
Her motion to enter contract with town.
Yeah, to authorize Patty to,
Mm.
sign a contract.
Authorized Patty.
Year 1, 24/20, years 2 and 3, 12/20 each.
All second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all that. It's
So I'll
it's
have
a
them in
pile
there.
of background to get done. We appreciate it.
I'm
Yeah,
excited,
Thank you, Patty.
because I'm tired of that old website.
All right, so let's talk about cemetery.
Cemetery, so, if anyone wants to look at my book that I put together, I used the inventory records from 1974 that Lydia Taylor and Herb Davidson created, and then went back into our old cemetery records and filled in, and then went on to findagrave.com and found more information. So basically I have a inventory of all the stones that should be there. Sorted by name, but also sorted in rows by number. So we went on Saturday for the first time in the rain, and started cleaning. And we probably spent 2 hours there, and we did quite a bit. We're gonna need a lot more product and more spray bottles and more brushes and all of those things. So my request, or I'm coming here to reconfirm that that the town is willing to spend the money on those things from that $5,000 that was given to the town from the Copeland Cemetery Fund a couple of years ago. That was our plan, to use that to start cleaning. So one of the other things I did was to find the last bill for this stuff was like $65, right? And we had the cleaning supplies from the previous cemetery committee who did a bunch of stuff. I did go look for, where I can buy this D2. I found a place in Vermont that actually makes the same product, they just make it here in Vermont, and it's called, in Barry, Miles Supply, and they deliver to this area on Fridays.
Okay.
So instead of $45 a gallon, it is $25 a gallon, and they sell 4 gallons in a case. What I wanna do is to get, 2 cases, because we used almost a whole gallon on 2.5 rows of stones. There, but I did get some other, we really need scrapers and things like that so that we can get some of the heavy stuff off before we even spray it. Anyway, our next cleaning day is the 21st, and I wanted to make sure it was okay for me to spend that money. I can call them, they can take the credit card over the phone, I can give them the tax number, all that stuff, and they'll deliver it. And they also have the marble product, and they have a granite product, and a black granite product. But I don't believe we have very many granite. I think mostly we have marble.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna start with 2 cases of marble, and if we find some granite and we think that marble's not working on it,
Right.
then we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I also talked to someone on the phone today who said Home Depot sells something called Wet and Forget. And it's similar, it's not, I don't believe it says non-toxic as this stuff. But it doesn't say it doesn't say you should clean it. It's really, you dilute it and it's made to spray on and walk away. So it's not, this one we're gonna get is hands-on or leave, right? They recommend you clean it and then you can rinse it, then you can go back and spray it again, and then it will keep cleaning for a couple of months.
And this stuff you apply and yeah, leave it for half an hour or whatever, 15 minutes or something. I'm sorry, I was gonna help, but I didn't. But,
You were busy.
thank you for,
It was fun.
Thank
It
you
was
for
actually fun. It was
organizing
very
and
wet, but it was very fun. And we are looking forward to doing it again. I mean, we couldn't take the book out and double check because it was too wet, but that's one of the things I want to do because I've already I'm like, I didn't see this person. She's from stone number 1. Where is she? So yeah, and we can go back. We'll see how it looks. I haven't walked back in there. I was going to do it yesterday, but I haven't, to see how they're looking.
they were mowing there today, I didn't go up and check. But, no, I think that's cool, and it's even better if there's somebody locally that has a product, so I'd say, yeah, I don't know if you want to.
I mean, I don't really, as long as, because it comes out of the cemetery reserve, but I just didn't want to just buy it and without having you guys say yes, keep going.
Yes,
So-
and if you need some more brushes and whatever.
Yeah, I was just gonna go to Noble and I'll take
Yeah.
all the ones, I took everything they had last time, I'll just go take everything. They should be restocked by now,
Right.
but they don't, the spray bottles that we can put it in and.
We had another flyer from Noble, which I know you know. And last time I tried to use it for the town account, they said we couldn't. But they
It's
seem
funny
to-
because the
they
first
still
time I
send it
used
to
it, they
us.
let me.
They let you, but they didn't
Yeah.
let me.
He actually, the first
Maybe
guy
you
he
had better luck.
gave me,
Yeah.
he gave me, he put the purchase in 2 different, because it was like so much per thing, and I got $5 off each one. So he gave me a
Wow,
second
nice.
one.
Well, it was a young, yeah, we talked about it. It was a young lady that waited on me. And
She didn't like you too.
I guess not. She's by the book or something.
Whatever the book is, I'll tell her to get that book out, I wanna read it, I wanna see. So
Alright.
that's my report, that's my, that's it from
Well,
me.
that's great.
Thank you for both.
You had, and you had a few
I
volunteers.
had 5 people,
Wow, that's great. That is great, because it was kind of a crappy day, not as bad as last Saturday, but it
yeah,
was still,
it was mostly family, But I had 5 people.
You need a bigger family.
Well, I know, wow, one was Sarah Dwin, she came all the way from Barry, so she's like, you better do it, because I drove all the way
Oh,
from
for
Barry.
God's sake.
You said family, yours or theirs?
Yeah.
Mine, and Haley, and Max, and Clara.
Well, that's great.
Oh, Clara,
But, yeah, she wasn't gonna do it, but then we're like, we're going over. We went in the rain. We kept thinking it was gonna stop raining, but never really did.
Never really.
All right.
Thank you, Patty, that's great.
So let's have a conversation with the town treasurer.
I think I'll have the listers go first, because we could get into the weeds with
Okay.
budget
Fair
stuff,
enough.
if that's all right.
We will defer that and go on to the listers.
Okay, we sent her, so I'm hoping everyone got a copy. We did get a contract proposal for the reappraisal, the townwide reappraisal. It's from the New England Municipal Resource Company. Excuse me, and that is the company that we use for the software for our CAMA, which is the property detail information, and then for the grand list. Herb did have a question about item 1F, the property inspections. Excuse me. Herb, the real reason that we can't ask them to guarantee a percentage is because legally, any property owner can refuse us to have access to the property. And, you know, so there's, they can't really guarantee how many, they can guarantee the tries, and I think if you read the detail that they go through, and it's, a lot of that responsibility will be on the lister board to notify people in town that they're coming and to set up appointments and to answer questions. And we've had a really good, I think the lister board has a really good track record of getting access to people's houses.
And then the only point of comparison I have is Castleton, which had some dispute with their listing company because the first round, I think they had 22% full observation, and the other 78% were drive-bys. And Castleton said basically not appropriate, we need to do better. And they ended up at 40%. They ended up, but apparently they just weren't clear about that as an expectation. So if we can do a third or more, that would be good for us. The price certainly looks reasonable. Everybody else is talking about 100 or 125 per parcel, so that's right there.
Again, I think one of the reasons that it is reasonable is because we use their data, their database, we use their software, so it would not be a case of them, of someone else from the outside entering.
Right.
Their staff will do the
Right.
data entry.
It's amazing to me that they're booking for summer of 29 to
Yes,
do this right now.
29. Well, we sent 10 letters out, which isn't a lot when so many towns are being required. And the law now will be that you will do a townwide reassessment every 6 years. Those
So as
will
soon
be-
as you get done, you gotta look a new one.
Just about, that's the point, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome to here's page 1. Oh, can we have a contract for next time too? There will be a procedure that, in between in 6 years, if the CLA and everything is acceptable, you can, request to do just a statistical, which is actually what we did the last time in town. But there are not that many assessment companies. We had 2 other replies. One was someone called me on my cell phone, which I found very strange because that was not the method of contact that had been given in the letter. I requested something in writing, never got it. And another firm just plain said no. We've heard that one of the main reasons on that. There's so much work, and a lot of assessment companies are just wanting and considering towns that don't have permitting. There's nothing on the records for permitting, so.
Yeah, because they can't, they don't know what they're gonna,
Yeah.
there's no records of
Oh,
any changes or any,
Right.
yeah.
Mhm.
So they go there with a photograph of a house from 10 years ago and it doesn't look anything like that.
Yeah, they will receive all of the data that we
Right,
have.
well, that's
We
what I
have,
mean
but
by
this
that,
is-
yeah.
This
There's
is
no
not
way
what
for you
there's,
guys to know everything.
there's no file of it other than what we have found.
Right.
And that's also why, we drive the roads because, and look at property.
And they do want to have the, a photo, I guess, current photo.
Yeah.
And the,
And sketches,
And
but
the
that's their
sketches.
software also, so.
Yeah, that was when I saw that was 2029, I'm like.
So in the
That's a long
meantime,
way away.
we will continue on doing it the way that we're doing it.
Right.
And
It's kind of scary for a company to be able to,
Right, I'm wondering now, like, that's
5 years from now, they're.
assuming they can still do it for $100 a
Right,
property.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
if we lock them into a price now, that'd be great.
we'll still continue to get the payments into the reappraisal reserve.
Right.
And by the time we do it, we'll be at like half twice what they're asking.
So you'll be able to cover the one that's
Yeah,
done in
I
6
don't-
years.
Pat and I were talking, I don't know for how many years out, if we have to do it every 6 years, we don't get that reimbursement. That rate of reimbursement in 6 years, but. Any other questions?
because we want to proceed with this.
Mhm.
Do we need your blessing or?
Well, there is a contract and the page at the end has 5 signature spaces. Again, I don't know, with 3 of you being here, I don't know if you want to sign that tonight or what.
I'm comfortable doing it, but I have a feeling that Carl would be very interested. And I hate to usurp his opportunity to talk through it. So would it be okay if we deferred this until the 26th?
Yes.
I don't
will-
see any
I will,
problem. I don't see any
I
problems
will
doing it.
contact them because we were encouraged by our district advisor to, it's a good contract, take it. So I have been, and he is aware, their representative from them was aware that I'm presenting it tonight, but we will just say due to.
I think we were shorthanded and, yeah.
Yeah, that you have asked to delay it the 2 weeks, and I'm sure that's.
And I have a note that will go on the agenda for next week.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you for doing the background and getting that proposal to us.
Well, you're welcome.
We're glad to get it.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
glad to get it. And it is a good offer, so, okay.
And we're just wondering who the listers are going to be and
I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to
Yeah, we
assume
don't
that
know.
you wouldn't be here, but I'm thinking that's a long time from now.
Yeah, and for their assessors, I know one of their assessors, because they did well, and, because we have a joining property, I had discussions with him, but who knows?
Yeah.
But that's the way it is. Okay, great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sal. Thank
Do you have any other questions for the listers while we're here? We've already locked the grand list. The grievance day is next week.
Oh, I did have a question. I read on Digger that because the state this year gave you a solid number for utilities, some people's grand lists went down because that amount went down,
Ours did.
depending. But
Yes.
and I noticed when I was putting the grand list in the book, in the vault, that our grand list, it did go down. And so then I read that article a day later and I thought, is that why?
Well,
So the question
it's very close. It's like $45,000 close. But that's why it did not go up as much as we might have expected, because
Because to
Green
me, it
Mountain
went
Power
down.
was devalued
But
considerably.
we've actually, changed it since then too. As of Monday.
Oh, yes, a little bit, that's true, yes, there was another, property inspection. But it's fairly close, it's quite close, so the grand list would have gone up, but you're correct. Green Mountain Power value went down. It went up in other towns, and there's a lot of, activity on the listers' emails because towns don't know. Green Mountain Power is requesting grievance time. And since it was prepared and determined by the state, towns don't know what they're going to do when the Green Power representatives come in and said, why did it go up? Like, I don't know, because the state told us to. So it's sort of a disruption right now.
All right. Thank you for that.
Other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Robert, if you've got something quick from traffic safety, we'll do that, and then we'll come back to details on the
Yeah,
treasure.
sure. Well, hello, everyone, and all my town friends and residents. What do you think of our new paving?
Pretty nice.
Super highway now.
Yeah,
Pretty fast.
got down as far as your house and then they quit. Nice.
Yeah, we have a highway now,
Yeah,
and we have a raceway.
and that,
Before I came, I sat underneath the tree and estimated speed 65, 70. There was one, I was in law enforcement for 17 years. And I can pretty much tell you how fast someone was going. I saw a vehicle tonight, pretty close to 90.
Coming in or going out?
Something has to be done. I heard from a very reliable source today, and the information I got is very, very reliable. And Justin told him that in Ira, he's having a field day. So, we spend over $20,000 for traffic safety with the sheriff's department. And he can't be here all the time. $20,000 is a lot of money. I personally feel that those radar, the blinking, I've been working on it for a year and they're all about the same. And it's just so darn expensive. What other towns are doing, they're lowering the speed limit. Timoth lowered theirs to 25. I feel if we lowered our speed limit to 30 and people started getting these tickets, I think it'll be beneficial. I just can't see spending 15, by the time we're all done, we're probably $10,000-$15,000 for these signs. To me, that's a lot of money. And I feel it's a sheriff's responsibility. And I also feel, just repeating myself, just lower the speed limit. I have coffee here in the morning and they come around the corner, 50% of them stop. And by the time they get to the store, 45, 50.
Right.
Something's going to happen. And I don't want anything happen to Mrs. Mars. She's my neighbor. She's petrified. She takes her car to get her mail. Now she sends out her grandchildren. Yeah. She told me that she can't have a dog or a cat. I realize that we probably have a dog leash law, but apparently she's lost 3 or 4 pets. And she told me excessive speed, you know, so. It's just a thought. I will be speaking to Justin, see what we can do. I'm not gonna mention names, but it's the same old people. One of them was on the board with me, and he passed me right by Jim Mars's pit. I just couldn't believe it. If
Well,
you-
that wasn't in front of his house.
What's that?
That wasn't in front of his house.
Whatever. You know, it's
Which I think
It's-
is fair.
it's just a thought, you know, we all been working on this pretty hard. Yeah.
Can we do that with this, because it's a state road?
It's a state
I
highway.
think that would be the first place to start, would be contact them and see if they would do it.
I think we'd have to request it, yeah.
You know, I'm seeing Pittsburgh, I'm seeing so many towns lowering the speed limit. Of course, we don't want a trap. You know, I mean, we don't want speed traps like Woodstock, you know, I mean, or our old friend Nelson Tiff, who was in competition with a guy from Island Pond, see how many tickets they could write. I mean, that's hogwash, you know. We don't need a bad name, but we have to do something.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the speed limit is only a part of the equation, because the speed limit is 35 now when people go 90 past your house,
Right.
right? So 30 is, you know, that's not gonna change anybody's behavior if they're not gonna be stopped, right?
But-
This is enforcement question, this is not a law question.
But a ticket over 20 miles an hour is more than 3 points on your license.
Right.
It can result in handcuffs.
Right.
Pretty embarrassing. We have another young boy who goes to work in the morning with a loud truck, and I think he just does it deliberately. You know, so.
I think part of our problem is also, we don't have, in those spots, there's no place that's safe for the sheriff to sit and then pull someone over.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to, you're making a road hazard, right? And so and that's always a dilemma if you're the safety officer. Am I creating more trouble than I'm solving?
Yeah.
And I don't know the answer. I just know that makes it complicated, because in this area,
Yeah.
it can be hard to.
Yeah. Justin did tell me that they did receive a grant for 2 unmarked vehicles, but they're black. What does black tell you? You know, I made a spot for Justin, and I think in April, he picked up 2 in one morning.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen him there. That's not a bad spot, but like here, it's, it's like they don't stop at the stop sign, and I know that they do watch them. I don't think they're giving them tickets for not stopping at the stop sign. I think they're just telling
I
them
think
to
the
stop at
only
the
one
stop
that
sign.
may have got one at one time. They were really-
Right.
Usually we don't say anything about a California spring roll. Just kind of roll through it. But sitting in that chair, having coffee in the morning, and what I'm seeing with warm weather, it's just like, wow. And by the time they're going to the store, it's in one hand on the cell phone and driving with a knee. I mean, I can't do it. I wish someone would train me. But just worth a thought.
Yeah.
I know
I think we could save a lot of money. And if that doesn't work, then maybe we can start considering those radar signs. I can recall David promised us that we could have that cart. All right, I'm gonna contact him, seeing that it's new pavement, and we'll figure out a place for it.
Yeah, I wonder if we could do another,
Yeah, we could
Traffic.
request that.
traffic count
And-
study.
We have their proposed contract for next year in here, and my thought was, I've known David for years, and I like David, but he doesn't communicate with any of these towns, and not that maybe his predecessor did a lot either, but we did have yearly meetings with all of the different towns. And that's not too much to ask when we're sending them 20 grand or 25 grand.
Yeah.
To meet with each of the select boards, Ira, Tinmouth, Middletown, whatever, or either the boards or a designee of the board. And I was gonna see about getting that back on track sometime this summer.
Yeah.
I did notice, just the other day, yesterday, day before, coming back from Wells, on the East Wells Road, down in the hollow, down in the corners, the sheriff's sitting there.
Mhm.
Now, I thought Wells had their own constable, but, or maybe they do,
I
but
haven't
maybe
seen
they,
him around down there in quite a
maybe
while.
they're contracting with the sheriff now, which is a good thing, another officer over here on the west
Also,
side of
the
the state.
sheriff's sitting down there, I noticed, because I've been going to Granville Price Chopper, because you
Right,
can't get anywhere else from Middletown, but I noticed on the East Wells Road, somebody's got it must be a vehicle activated.
yeah.
You drive by and it sounds like somebody whistling really loud, and they get your attention, you slow down and you're looking for somebody up next to the road.
Cool.
Yeah, somebody, they move it around once in a while, or maybe it's a private thing, but as you're going into the village, they've got one of those signs.
Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes it's gone somewhere else, I don't know if that's the town or
Yeah.
individual, but.
I thought maybe if you get something like that vehicle activated in the form of a train horn. or
Make it
something.
sound like a gunshot or drive by shooting.
And one more thing, Bill and Philip, were gonna help me, put up the 35-mile speed sign by my house, because we have 240s. You can't do that. And I spoke to the sign crew, many months ago, and they said, now, that must have been a mistake. And I said, well, can you change it? And I haven't heard. But Bill's gonna supervise, I'll hold the ladder, and Ryan will do the cutting. And we have a sign. That's 35. So,
Someone get run over.
yeah, so we're in
3 or 4
compliance.
other guys.
Because someone coming off from 133 coming on, Justin told me they can fight that in court because it was not posted.
It's not marked.
So legally, they can do 50 miles per hour.
All right, so next steps, Terry, if you want to talk to David Fox about setting up a meeting, I will contact V-Trans about the protocol for changing speed limit, and we'll carry forward from there.
And I've got another question, off topic or sort of, or a little on topic again, but we're in the summer season and we've got all kinds of mini bikes and 4-wheelers going by.
Right.
We've tried a couple of different things. We've looked into having an ATV ordinance here in town, and we did it several years ago and it got shot down. I think we did it one time before that, years ago. Do you have any thoughts on that, just in general? I'm not trying to pin you down, but to see if it may be worth trying to resurrect that again. Wells instituted one 3 or 4 years ago. They
How did it
just-
work out?
I believe it's worked well for them.
Yeah.
And they designated only certain roads, and
Yeah.
I don't remember what it is.
Well,
$20 to get a sticker or something, but
you
but
know,
at least-
folks, if it's not abuse, but it takes a handful of kids or adults, especially when alcohol is involved, it'd be great for the store business.
That's the thing I've been trying to push over the years. If it's done through a club, they'll police their own.
Yeah.
Right now, we have these rogue riders that are out there causing all the problems, that are doing it anyway. They're gonna continue to do it.
Right.
And if a club was involved and had permission, they would police it because they don't want it to reflect on them. And that's why it's worked in these other towns, so.
Uh-huh.
That's correct, yeah. I was just wondering what if you had an opinion on that. And I've got I'll send that around, we can talk about it. I know we've got lots of things to do, not just tonight, but I think we got lots on our plate, but see what anybody thinks.
Okay.
Maybe it'll go somewhere, maybe it won't.
Cost us a select board member the last time we tried to do it.
Yeah, that's right.
How
Never
did
to
you feel
return.
about it? You know, say a group of individuals driving by with ATVs.
I mean, Spruce Knob Road's a kind of a common location for that. And it's, 30 seconds of noise and you're done. Who cares? Doesn't bother me any. I mean, I hear more people shooting guns than I do ATVs. That's not my hobby either, but that's what people are gonna do.
Yeah.
So it doesn't bother me at all.
They're the ones you don't want to confront.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and the vehicle, the cars, some of the cars are louder than ATVs.
Yeah.
The ATVs don't bother me. I think we all know, the state of Vermont's more than happy to take their sales tax when somebody buys one, pay the gas tax when somebody fills up with gas, and if they stop at the store or whatever.
Yeah,
The state of Vermont wants their money, but unless you've got your own land,
yeah.
you can't legally go anywhere.
Yeah. And I believe that Vermont is a universal DUI state as well. So
Yes,
you can
it
be
is.
charged for
Yeah.
DUI for driving a boat or a jet ski
Lawnmower.
or a snowmower or snowmobile or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
But what was impressive, like, especially during Irene, the amount of four-wheelers and ATVs kept
To help
people,
people, yeah.
I mean, it literally kept people alive because that was the only way they could deliver food, get them medical help. I mean, and that was all done through organizations, the clubs. It wasn't the road ones that are tearing things up.
Well spoken, Bill. One more thing, Justin is, not sure if you saw it, it's at the store. He is looking for donations to get a tracking dog. The sheriff's department, the dog is $12,000, $10,000. And the sheriff's department gave him, I think, 5 or 6. And he's looking for donations to get this dog. And it's like a tracking dog, because we have senior citizens, dementia, and I was talking with him, and it was very interesting. Vermont, the state police has one, but it's 30 miles away. The closest one, I guess, is Fairhaven. And when someone's lost, it's the first 35, 40 minutes. I thought it was an excellent idea. I donated $100. And when I see him again, if he gets approved and raises that money, I'm going to give him more because he has to fly down on his own. It's wonderful, a tracking dog. Someone could be lost or a breaking and entering, drug related, whatever. I think it's a wonderful idea. I'm not asking the town for money, but I just think it's a great location to have a tracking dog right here in Rutland County. That's right here, bang, 35, 40 minutes, he's on the scene. So, rest in peace.
there you go. All right.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you. All right. Treasurer.
Okay, I'll try to keep it briefish. I had a bunch of things going on. One that I'm really excited about is that I've finally made an agreement with a payment service, online payment service, and that will start with our new tax year. And what that is, it's an online portal that our taxpayers can go to. And they can pay check, or they can pay credit card, or they can do credit card in here. There is 0 cost to the town, and people want to use credit cards, they have to pay a 3% fee. And if they want to do a check, it's $1.50. $1.50 is in the range of what people would pay for a money order. I have people paying me with money orders. It's convenient for our taxpayers because they don't have to go out of their house if they don't want to. They don't have to pay for a stamp, which is now going to be 75, 76 cents, whatever. So we'd like to offer them that option to do that. We don't have to promise to get a certain amount of income for this to go through. The company I chose is they've got certification for the highest security that there can be for this type of thing. They work directly with M&T Bank, which is our bank where the money will come into. Because they work directly with M&T Bank, we get the money quicker than if we worked with another service. So I did a lot of comparing and negotiating with this company to get good rates for us. So they're in the next couple of weeks working on making sure it works and setting it up for us, and I will put it on our website
That's great.
portal. So I will, of course, do some PR about it. When I send out the tax bills, I will tell people they have that option. I'll put things on Front Porch Forum and the newsletter, but I think it's a good service to have.
That's wonderful.
We take Amex, Visa, MasterCard. I forget what the other one is. What we cannot do right now is like a Venmo type thing, but because the company itself doesn't do that, but they're looking into getting that added to their technology. But for now, I think this is a really good start.
That's great.
So, any questions on that? It's, I think I've said it at the last meeting, is that people are using checks less and less often. So they don't have checks, so they have to go get a money order, or they just want to pay on their credit card and pay it off on their own time. So I think this keeps us evolving with the times. Probably should have done it a while ago, but we're doing it now. The next thing that I would like to do is our bank offers a check processing machine, and that means that when checks are received in this office, they can be scanned through this machine and they get deposited directly to the bank. That would way cut down on the number of trips that I take to the bank that the town has to pay mileage for. The only thing I would have to go to the bank for is if I had to deposit at TD Bank or if I had to deposit cash. So I would like to pursue this. There is a one-time only expense, which is the machine to process the checks. So I'm still deciding which to use and pricing versus getting it from M&T or another company, refurbished or brand new. They can be anywhere from $250 for putting a check in one at a time, or they can probably go up to $750 or $800 to put a whole stack of checks in, and it's quicker. I know that we have money left in office supplies for this year, probably about $900. And unless Patty needs other office supplies, or I think if the listers need anything, I would like to use that once I decide on the machine.
Which way would you be leaning, towards the more expensive one?
Yeah, initially I was going to do the cheaper one because I'd like to be economical, but it just seems like that might be a little arduous. What I'm doing right now is I'm going through a check collection, tax collection period right now, and I'm like looking at how much I process at a time to see if it would make sense to get a faster one or not. So I haven't quite made my decision yet. I started this week looking at it and collecting the checks, and I'll know better next week. So I certainly don't want to waste money, but if it's more efficient, and that's the only charge that we have to pay. So.
And I mean, it pays for itself quickly with mileage.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. So what do we have? Like $1,100 in mileage. So yeah, that would, I could see that cutting down. I don't even know what, but more than half cut down on that. for sure. So,
Would that also take care of any issues, like if you got a bad check? Cut down on your having to deal with that if it's going directly to the bank?
yeah, definitely, yeah, that's a good point that I didn't bring up, yeah. Mhm. Yeah,
I think it's a good idea, because I have a LL Bean card, so I get points.
okay, yeah, so they sent me, for the payment online, they already sent me the credit card, device, and it's this small these days, it's not one of those big, so that's pretty quick. So, yeah, so back to the payment online, it's something that could be rolled out to Patty collecting her town clerk fees if she wanted. And she could do that anyway with a different company if she wanted to, or she could tag onto this company. So we can see how it works, how people respond to it.
Yeah, the only thing, I mean, the only thing people want to pay with a credit card here are dog license.
Yeah, so they could,
I don't know,
Right.
we'll see.
Mhm.
One thing I was looking at to buy that, but I didn't know what we had left in
For the office supplies.
office supplies, and it could come out of preservation, and I haven't done a lot of research on it yet, is a book scanner. So it's like this scanner that is a big light and a camera that goes over the top of the book. It has a big map. So that the books that can't come apart, we could digitize that way instead of having to send them out to be digitized to someone else, and then your book's not here. And so that was one of the things, and what I wanted to do, if I'm gonna buy something like that, is to have one that is big enough to scan in, take a picture of a survey map. Because those things I'd like to get digitized, and they have a big, large format scanner over in Wells, but it's kind of funny, because I asked if, they offered for us to use it a long time ago, and so I asked about using it, and Nora's like, well, you can't use it now because I'm in Florida, and Sherry doesn't know how to use it, and then when Elizabeth went there to do a search, because she does searches for a couple of lawyers, she asked about it, and they said, well, yeah, if you can get it to work, I guess you could come bring your maps over and do it, but I don't know how to use, so it's just one of those things where if we can do it here, it just makes life a lot easier. And if it's something like that, and that the book scanner was like $250. But I don't know, I doubt that I think it's just too small, just a little bit too small for it's like an inch on both sides, too small for a survey map, so. Anyway, but yeah, I would go for your thing, and I can do mine next year.
I was just gonna say, is it?
Yeah. It's not
We
it's
can
not
make
a
it-
rush. It
Okay.
was just one of those things that if there was money, maybe we
Got it,
could try
okay.
it, but you're
Yeah.
using the money. But that is one thing that I am looking at, and I also have preservation money.
Okay, and if I decide on, if I can get a really good deal and there's still money left, I'll let you know and you decide when you want to get it. Okay, so the other thing, and Herb, I don't know if I should do it under treasurer or town highway, is there was a discussion at the last meeting about seeing if we had money available to pay for some more things for the highway. And I sent you all a couple days ago the trial balance and budget status report as of end of May. But this afternoon I sent an Excel spreadsheet that kind of summarizes and recaps things.
Right.
A little bit easier to read because I've put in some projections for how much I think we're going to spend on payroll the rest of this year. And I moved the reserve money into the spend column already, so we know that money is accounted for. So before I go further, Herb, do you want me to continue talking about this? Okay. So what I came up with is, right now, it looks like there's about $84,000 available. And you ask, why is that? You guys know better than I, but we didn't use up a lot of the payroll because Bill was alone for a while. We didn't use up because of that, the health insurance that was based on having 2 people on full health insurance.
Right.
We didn't have to pay for road commissioner because that individual did no work. So that's the part I can see about the payroll. The other things, if you look at the very, very last column, any number that's negative, that means that we still have that money available. If there's a positive number, that means we overspent. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it here.
I had a message this morning, just today, whenever I came here, from Windmill. There's a $6,000 bill that has not been paid, so I asked her to email it to me. So I
It's
said,
on the board
tonight's
orders.
oh, you do have it. You
Yeah,
got it.
when we got the grader back, they didn't send an invoice, so I had to go.
So you went and looked for it, because she called and I said, well, email me the invoice and I'll put it in. I said, it probably won't get paid, it won't get paid for 2 weeks if it hasn't,
No, it's on.
Okay. All
So
right, good. Yeah, so that's a pretty big jump, so I
Yeah, we
wanted
were
you to know.
expecting a.
A lot less than what
Yeah.
it intentionally was.
Yeah.
We were looking. around
Well, sure, but
$30,000.
I'm just saying, that was something that is on the docket.
So before we get into extra that Bill wants to purchase, Bill, are there any bills coming up in the next 2 weeks that you're expecting? Like I saw one the other day, Dennison, but then I didn't see it in this pile.
Yeah, I don't
So-
have the invoice for that.
Oh, but we're gonna have
That's
to-
our fluids, our
Yeah,
oils.
okay, but that will come up.
Yeah, because I just got a delivery of 2 barrels,
Mm-hmm.
but I wasn't here. They dropped it beside the road, so I didn't get an invoice, so I don't know what. the
It came,
total
I
is.
thought that came, and I put it in your folder. It came to me in an email.
It wasn't on the orders tonight.
No, but it was in the folder when I looked.
Okay, I probably set it aside.
Okay.
Because I don't have the invoice for
Yeah,
it
that could be
yet.
it, yeah.
You mean the packing list?
No, I got the statement, but not the invoice.
Oh,
And that
Okay.
happens a lot when they
Okay.
deliver like
All
that.
right.
And that's what happened with Windmill, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
so what other things do you think will come in this week beside like electric and healthcare, and how about like more fuel deliveries from Marcel
Yeah, and I never know when he's
when he's
gonna deliver those. I have been hauling gravel this week from Martell's,
Mm-hmm.
so that was like 7 loads, but I won't have a bill. I'll have the bill before the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one thing I was gonna ask tonight, because I've got a lot of areas that need top coat. Be a good way to spend some money in a hurry.
Well, that's what we were thinking, yeah, I don't think you were here last time, but that's why we asked Jenny if she could give us a rough idea, and if we could we know we need a lot of top coating, with a good material, or if we just stockpiled it, but.
I started doing some, but it was pointless to try to get to Casellas, because I was sitting 15 minutes both ways, so didn't get a lot done. That's why I went to Martell's, replace culverts and stuff I could do this week.
So even if we said probably 75,000 or something, we'd be comfortable to.
Well, I don't know if I can
I
spend
just-
that
yeah,
money.
Well,
we could
so here-
possibly haul it.
Here's another option. This, if we end up with $89,000, that will go to highway surplus.
Right,
And then you'll
surplus.
just draw from there to buy what you need.
Yeah.
That's the other option, instead of
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
committing right now.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that the thing to do would be to be aggressive about doing road work that we can do for the next 3 weeks. We can only stockpile so much. We don't have like physical area to put, $60,000 worth of material. So if we spent an extra 30, just ballpark, to do roads in the next few weeks, that gives us another 35, 40, whatever to go into highway surplus.
Mhm.
That seems good.
In the next 2 weeks, I can get a lot done, but I'm thinking more like 35,000,
Mhm.
for
Mhm.
materials.
But, so-
That's a
yeah.
lot of material to move.
Yeah.
But another thing to think about though is, and I don't know how tariffs may or may not affect prices on this kind of material, but are we likely to get better prices if we buy now than wait even a couple months? Just to, I don't know what will get affected by tariffs, but
Well,
if prices
if
are gonna
we're-
go up,
If we're gonna do that, I would suggest that maybe we try to pre-buy some extra winter sand, because we came real close and we're starting to see those storms. They're eating up a lot more of that now. So if we could buy an extra, we get what, 200 tons? No, that's salt.
That's salt, yeah.
2,000,
Yeah, yards,
yards.
which we buy tonnage now.
All right.
I could figure it out and see if I can work something out with Kelly to maybe pre-buy. Because all we gotta do is say it's stockpiled over there, so it's
Right.
let us do
Right,
anyway.
if we can pre-buy and keep it on their lot, that's fine.
May I add one thing? The material that we're using, it's excellent material.
You're seeing it all the way around, I mean, to grade the roads
It's real-
now.
it's
it
really
brings
good
some
stuff.
back in. It's not all ending up in the ditches.
So yeah, we're in good shape at whether we can, or what we can spend now, and then if the rest goes into surplus. Next week, I believe, will be the mower, so it'll be.
Yeah.
You or Philip or somebody will be mowing the roadside.
mhm,
Well, even if I can stockpile some material here, I got Philip on the mower and I can be,
All,
Good.
so,
because they're done now, I guess, so.
I think so. Maybe finish striping tomorrow, whatever.
Oh, it's all straight.
Oh, is it straight?
yeah, I was
Cool.
surprised,
I don't
yeah.
know.
I'm gonna race by Robert's house
You ever
tomorrow.
take a ride? You can tell it's straight, because some places with a bog line, you've got 3 feet of shoulder outside of the bog line. Other places, it's not a road that's straight. No,
So,
so I'll plan on,
Yeah.
spend it, yeah.
Good. Thank you.
All right,
very much.
yeah. So, yeah, we're in, good shape. Not down to the last penny, so that's good. Now that I'm preparing for, in general, not, end of the last, payments in 2 weeks, board orders. And so I wanted to confirm what stipends we have, in our budget that the select board would like to pay out.
I was thinking about that when you raised that question. I don't know what stipends we have aside from animal control officer.
Animal control.
And a clerical.
The person who does helps Bill with the grant work and does the drug testing
Yeah.
arrangements.
Is that a stipend and not an hourly?
That's how it's been, it's
it was set
$1,000.
2 years ago, it was set as a stipend.
Okay.
I mean,
But
it's
that-
your admin budget for next year is for your admin person.
Right.
But that's what normally happens is that would, the last couple of years it's gone to me.
Did, animal control, I think, did we get reimbursed for a bounce check? I think we had a
I don't think that ever came back.
What was the name on that?
James.
Oh,
I think it's still in the select board folder.
so there could be a deduction.
Right to
Deduct
that.
$50 for him.
Sure.
It was $20. It's not in that
Well-
folder, but it's in the
I was
correspondence
gonna say, I
folder.
hadn't
It's
seen
in
that.
the correspondence folder in the regular file.
What you do is whatever the stipend is, $275, take 20 out of that and put it to the transfer station, and the balance
Yeah.
can be the stipend.
Do you want to double check it? Do you want me to double check it?
It's in the,
I'll find it.
Thank you.
yeah, do they still, I don't know, does the bank still charge us? They used to charge us, what, $15 each way or some stupid thing?
No, they
Yeah.
don't,
Or- Okay.
because we've got a good relationship with them, but I tell you, it's a pain in the ass for all of us.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
Oh, gosh,
extra
yeah.
time and a lot of extra journal entries.
Pain
And,
in the
yeah,
ass to try to chase down $20.
I know, yeah.
Things
So-
like that, that's why I was asking if that new program would just
Uh-huh.
take it off your plate to have.
Yeah,
to
right, yeah,
chase
yeah,
them
yeah,
down. Let the bank deal with it.
I
Mhm.
think if it's in there, all right, we should do it.
Yeah, it's our money, so you could just, you could even just say the stipend is 200 and whatever you want it to be.
Right,
You can say you don't have to even,
right, don't even have to reference.
yeah. It's your choice, I'm just throwing out
Right,
some
no,
ideas.
I think it's a
Yeah.
good way to do it.
Yeah.
Well, I just wonder if the animal control officer did anything after the most recent dog bite incident. But we don't know that.
Yeah, there was a year, I think, when Neil had it, I don't think he had any incidents at all, but it was a good year.
Mhm, yeah,
A good-
Yeah, so it's-
easy
it's- yeah.
$200 or whatever it was, but.
so I think it's the select board's decision, if you
Yeah.
want to do it at all, or do part of it.
Well, I mean, here's the issue, here's why I have an issue with that, is because the dog was not registered. And we have no proof that the dog had a rabies vaccine or any of those things, and he didn't follow up. I don't know if he followed up.
Right.
I didn't know anybody to come in and register their dog.
Right.
So. That's,
The rabies half of it is the health officer, so if I had been here, that would have been me.
right, but that doesn't just account for the dog wasn't registered, so that no one can prove whether, that's the point of registering a dog.
Right. that's
So you
the
can
whole-
prove that the rabies is up to date.
So the thing for me is that, we're here at the end of the year, and the people who've done this work have done it under the understanding that they will be stipend.
My point is they didn't do any work. I don't believe that the animal control officer did one thing this year. That's my point. Maybe you know different.
I don't.
I'm not saying we shouldn't get paid, because some years there's nothing to do.
Right. That's a-
Yeah,
that's a
and,
good
and
thing.
so you talk about the clerical stipend, how do we know that enough work was done to?
Right.
And I'm not saying it was or it wasn't, but how do you track
Right.
that? You don't.
Right.
And that's why for the future, I'm proposing that stipends become hourly.
Yeah.
Much like we did with the road commissioner, because you don't know,
Right, I agree.
so. But for now, the stipends are the stipends, so.
Right.
If we have a stipend, that's the way it's been, years ago, you had a constable, whatever, they got $100 or $500 or whatever it was, it was just whether you do anything or not, that's
This is from,
can be a bonus or can
Yes,
not.
yeah,
I think in this case, whatever the stipend is, I don't remember if it was $250 or $275.
I think it's
or whatever.
$275.
I think we should take the.
this is from 2023.
No.
That's how old it is.
Okay.
I think it's kind of funny, but that's how old it is, but we remember.
I thought it was this year, but.
And, and I would say you're a recourse to having to pay somebody a stipend that potentially didn't do any work is don't appoint them to do that job next year. Because we didn't require them, I don't think, to do a certain thing for
Right.
that stipend. They were just required to be the animal control
Yeah,
officer.
but then
Is there a list of responsibilities that goes with that? I think not.
No,
So-
you may
so-
get one call, you may get a dozen. I was up at 3:30, 4 o'clock one morning looking for a phantom horse on North Street when we had like 2.5 feet of snow.
I think you were the busiest animal control officer. I mean, you did a lot of dog
Yeah, yeah.
cases and
You get calls from the state police and, somebody's gotta go look what the hell they're talking about.
And I'm up to date on my shots.
So, would you like to have a motion to pay the 2 stipends?
Or it doesn't have to be a motion. What's gonna happen is I will put them on a board order and you guys sign it
Yeah.
next week and make your motion,
I
so,
think that's appropriate.
okay.
Yeah, I think it's.
I think changing expectations at the end of the year is awkward.
Mhm.
Yeah, does a good stance.
So, and I don't think there were any other ones. Okay. Clerical and dog. And then.
Well, we get a stipend whether we do anything or not.
That's right.
Right, right?
In some cases, well, we pulled some away in one case.
Okay, and then the other thing, which I see you have it, well, it goes around the, furthers it specifically applies to the amount that we have budgeted for clerical for next year.
Right.
I think I see that down here.
Yeah.
But then also maybe that could get wrapped in with like any other stipends or budgets.
Yeah, I mean,
But that's up to you. I'm
Right,
just-
so my
thinking about-
thought there is that would not be a stipend, that would be an hourly rate.
Mhm.
And that, we haven't determined yet what the job description would be, and I'd like to get some first thoughts about that later this evening. But I absolutely don't believe that should be
Mhm.
just a lump sum.
Mhm.
That should be billed at
Yeah,
an
uh-huh.
hourly rate.
And I think that would cover, so that invariably I'm projecting ahead, but we're probably not going to get that person in place until whenever. But in the meantime, Patty will likely be doing some clerical administrative work that needs to be compensated. I also have clerical administrative work that I'm not asking to be compensated for, but I should be as well. So yeah, figure out what an hourly rate is, and then we'll submit timesheets so we can all, and then we'd also have an idea of like how much time is being spent on some of these clerical activities. What are they?
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
My
so
5
one of the things I do, so I don't have a sense of the clerical things that fall under your purview, for instance, that are not part of the town clerk's duties. So if you could do an inventory of the kinds of things that would encompass, that would help me understand what we're addressing.
And I could also give you some things that I do that are really not a treasurer
Yeah.
thing, but that I
Because
do, yeah.
one of the things, if we have an employee, if we have somebody who's working hourly, I think it's a good practice to have that employee have one supervisor,
Mhm.
not have that person answer to 3 or 4 people and be pulled in 3 or 4 different directions. So I want to make sure that when we write this job description, that person has a report, as opposed to just sort of either being freelance or
Mhm.
being asked at random by 6 different people to do stuff.
Mhm.
Right?
I mean, Patty, just for instance, Patty helps me a lot. She pulls my minutes to the website and does a bunch of other things and, you know, all kinds of things like that. Anything that comes through the door, Patty is it. I was here the other day when the woman came in about the foxes down on West Street. I just happened to be here. But who do they come to?
Right.
Patty, naturally. So she gets all kinds of stuff.
Right.
Right, which I mean, that's not what I don't consider the minutes part and the website part additional. You know, the highway, all those highway forms, the thing to go to the permits for the parade, all the training for the DER stuff and all all those forms and all the stuff that goes with that. The contractors who come in, if we have a contractor, we have all the forms that they have to fill out that Jenny gets. I do all that. That's not town clerk work. That's select board work. So those are the kinds of things that I do on a daily basis.
You might find that you're
Randomly.
getting undercompensated for that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking,
Yeah.
right? So,
I mean,
It'd
I
be good to
don't understand how some of those things could possibly be select board work when they happen more often than every 2 weeks. It's not as though we can be responsive to
No.
contractors who need stuff done.
Right, but the town clerk is not the town administrator. It's a town administrator job. It's like a town manager job. They're not,
Right.
the select board doesn't do that.
Right.
Right, so I do a lot of those town administrator tasks that you don't have a town administrator to do.
Right.
That's the point of that. Not that it's your job to do them. It's one of those nobody's job. And I'm here
Right.
20 whatever hours a week. And so therefore, the window's open and someone comes in and they, Patty, can you
You're already.
make sure that this person's gonna come in and give them all this paperwork that needs to happen?
I wonder if I can charge Pulteney for fielding the complaints on the road closure.
I mean, it's not that nitpicky, but it is, there are specific things, and I would have to go through, like, I mean, I have all your employee files that need to be confidential in my office. And I keep
Right.
them, and that's not my job to have your employee files in my office for the highway. But I have to, because that is the only filing cabinet that can lock, and they can't really be, shouldn't be in the vault.
Right.
Because they shouldn't be available in the vault, they need to
Well,
be
I don't
locked
think
up.
you've got anything of mine that's confidential.
Well, I just mean, those are your social security numbers, your drug testing information,
Yeah, they probably got
the
that.
physicals, all of that stuff is in my office. I can't put it out there because we don't have any locked cabinets out there.
I think Laura used to keep them before you also, so it's just
Yeah.
kind of been the precedent and process.
Right. So I mean, I certainly can put something together. That's gonna take a chunk of time.
I mean, that would be helpful because, if we budgeted $7,500 and 3,500 of it is eaten up before we ever get started, then I need to know that, right? So,
Which in this discussion, you asked me before if I could think of anything that might stand out.
Mhm.
There are a couple of things that come to mind now. I haven't turned in, we had talked about it a while back and I still haven't done it, but quite a bit of mileage from when I was road commissioner.
Oh, right, from past years that you discovered going through.
Robert's pay once he gets the,
That's- I have that in here.
okay,
Mhm.
okay. And I know you had mentioned, I don't know if you were gonna bring it up, but, with what's gonna be coming out for my vacation. and-
That's already in here too. Mhm. That's already in here, so Roberts, so what I don't have that you just discussed is your mileage, so that'll be a small portion probably out of this whole thing.
Yeah, and when we change highway foremen, that whoever's the administrator's gonna, it's a transition, right? So whether or not that new person will do more or less than what Bill has done on some of these grant projects, and maybe there won't be work on that, because maybe they won't be doing that, but that's.
I'll be touching on that in road contention, or road court.
Yeah, I mean, so anyway, it's gonna take a little bit of time to put that together. I can work on it.
But,
And,
yeah,
and did,
I'll put mine together too, so I think that is important, it makes sense. She's got a slow period now, so she can work on it, she said, so. But you want to make an informed decision, right? So,
and I may have messed up, did we as a board say that we would reimburse Robert 25 an hour as we did with our other CDL drivers? Did we make a generic statement for that? I know he didn't want any compensation at all, but at a prior meeting, I asked Jenny to use our standard casual labor.
right, which I think is 1451.
Minimum plus 50
I was
cents.
under the understanding that he was hired as a part-time employee. We had to do that for insurance purposes.
Right.
And the precedent that had been set was anyone with a CDL would pay $25
Right.
stipend without any benefits or anything.
So I shortchanged you, Robert, or the board shortchanged you. My memory was.
Well, we
Yeah,
haven't
it's okay.
processed the check or a board order yet.
We can straighten that out.
Okay.
So you guys, decide what you want to do.
Yeah.
But in order for me to process anything for you, I need your W-4 filled out completely. And there's
Okay.
one highlighted area that's not been filled out, that's important,
Right,
because we have to pay W-2s.
right. Maybe you can help me out with that after.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Laurel, we seen that earlier.
Okay. So you guys vote on what you want it to be?
And make it
Yeah, I
our,
think just for consistency, we should keep it at our
our
standard
agreed
hourly
upon.
25.
And another thing, I'm available all the time. If something comes up, just give me a call. An emergency, or, if you want to stockpile, there's 2 trucks there, I can run back and forth and we can save a lot of money, Instead of hauling costs, I can use one of the trucks,
Right.
Um,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if we're gonna be heavily purchasing material for the next few weeks, that might be useful,
Yeah, so
especially if Philip's gonna be mowing.
just give me a call.
Good.
So Terry, if you could put that in the minutes, that specifically his compensation will be $25 an hour, because I need to.
I will do that, thank you.
I don't know if you guys need to make a motion or not, but
No, I
at
think
least
that
needs
just
to be in the
follows
minutes for my
standard
Well,
purposes,
the
yeah.
first one had a motion, so I don't know, I think you should have a motion. Right, didn't you make a motion to pay him this casual rate?
Yeah,
I believe,
probably, I think
I
we
think
did. So I'll move that the previous, or that it be corrected and Robert will be compensated at our standard CDL driver rate, which is 25 an hour.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Good.
Another thing,
So,
I've been watching Philip, and what an asset to the town.
Yeah.
Is,
We're lucky.
we finally got someone good.
Too bad about you.
Finally.
We finally got something.
Finally got something good. That's great.
Boy, that was a slap. I actually feel sorry for him, knowing what he's going into.
All right, anything else?
that's all I have. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you everybody for their patience as we work our
Thank you,
way.
Jenny, for the information.
Sure.
Meredith, do you have anything specific to the auditors for us this evening?
Nope, just listening in.
You're still muted
Nope, just listening in.
and you remain muted. Okay.
Here's the volume.
Is the volume down on the TV?
How can we do that?
I haven't had any picture for most of the meeting.
Did you hear
What? How can you do that to me?
She heard it.
that? She heard it.
Hello?
Is that it? Try now.
Can you hear me now?
Oh,
No, nothing.
hang on, I got another thing to try.
Does she sign?
Do you know how to?
Do you know how to read?
Yeah, do you know how to
I
read
only
sign
know a couple of
language?
hands.
Now I know.
We'll have to call Crystal to translate.
There we go. That's not what we want. I don't know how to make the speaker work.
All right.
How about the camera? You can't hear me. Oh well.
Just a call if you got anything to add.
Okay.
She says no.
I don't even need sign language. All right.
I'll be right back, I'll go get her.
All right.
We fixed it. Yay.
Ah, you can hear me now?
Now I gotta get this thing off. All right, you're good if you want to talk.
No, I have nothing to say.
All right,
I'm just auditing this class.
very good, thank you very much.
Thank you.
But I
All right.
haven't had a picture the whole meeting. For some reason, I started out with a picture.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
says that it says
Yeah.
that it's not
It
working.
did that 4 times the last time I had it running and just said, you know, it's halfway through, can't access your camera. So, all right. So I don't think there are any other town officers right now. So let's roll into highways.
Do you want to let Peter go and get him out of here? We may be talking highways for.
Okay. So sure, let's skip forward to town lands. We'll come back.
So I'm just following up on the 2 things that I volunteered in the select board president to do the last meeting. Dennis McFadden, or Dennis, came up and took a look at the discharge for the units upstairs. And then they came today and diverted that to the outside, so that's done. They also, while they were here, fixed a faucet that was turning in the bathroom.
Good.
And then they changed some of the air filters upstairs that should have been changed since the building was done. They weren't real dirty, but they need to be changed, and they've got 4 or 5 more to come back and replace. I got in touch with Endine, who did the water testing on the well here, and there's about a 40-page report on that. And I asked them, I explained the problem that we had, and I asked them if they had any suggestions as to people to get in touch with. And they put me in touch with an outfit called Clear Water Filtration. They're out of the Burlington area. They came down free of charge. They looked at the filter system. One of them was set to backwash every 3 days, and I don't know how that happened because they're supposed to be every 14 days. So I don't know if somebody got in there and fiddled with it, but anyway, they readjusted it so it's set to backwash. The way he didn't know what it was originally set up for, but when he calibrated it, at the time, there was 846 gallons that needed to go through that filter before it would backwash. So that should, instead of every 3 days, that should cut down on the time considerably. Check the other one, and that had, I think it was 1,000, a little over 1,000 gallons left before that was going to backwash. He tested the water here. The water here is 30 grains hardness, which is very, very hard. There were 4 different chemicals that, when he did an on-site test here, that contributed to the hardness, and they're something that the filter systems won't take out. He said the only thing that we could do to do that would be a reverse osmosis system, and that could be installed under the kitchen counter, which would just be for drinking water. He sent me a price on that, and it was $2,945 to install that. And to me, it seems like a lot of money you can buy a lot of bottled water to do that, but I think the corrections that have been made to this system, you just have to kind of see, where it goes.
Let it run through a cycle.
I mean, just changing the backwash from every 3 days to where it is now should help considerably. When I did talk with Endine, I indicated that I had talked with Frank Parent about discharging backwash water out onto the site, and they said that wouldn't be a very good idea because there's a lot of contaminants, not only the salt that's in there, but that's going to contaminate the soil. It's also going to decrease your lawn growth, such as it is, and there are other contaminants mixed in with that, so. The only thing that they did recommend is changing the location of the filter from where it is to filter the water before it goes into the actual filters. So if it comes out of the well, it gets filtered and then it goes into the two filters. So that would require the plumber to come back, and when they came up and they just came and I just told them to go ahead on putting the water so it drops outside, reroofing that, because they probably spent 15 or 20 minutes on that.
Right.
And while they were here, I asked them to change the filters because I was pretty sure it hadn't been changed. And it's just, so, if you want, I can find out from Dennis what it would be to change the location.
Yeah.
I don't know why it was put in where it was put in, but I don't know a lot about these systems, and that's where it's being installed.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's, if there's a filter that goes before the filters, then we're doing, different materials are being screened at different phases, and that's beyond my ability to understand.
So if you want, I can find out what it would be to
And
change it.
can we talk about adding a water meter before as well, before and after? Like we have the after water meter, to add another water meter before the softeners. Remember that a long time ago?
Yeah, I remember that.
A long time ago.
Yeah, when you were having to just
Right.
track the water on a thing, that was not tracking the actual thing that used the most water.
So I can find that out.
Yeah, so if we could reset after it's through the filter, if we could reset that to 0, right when you had that pump, then we'd have an idea.
Right.
When we're getting close, or rather than, it tells us now, I guess, but rather than wait for the alarm to go off or whatever.
Well, the alarm now works. Like it goes off at 2,400 instead of 3,000, so you got 600.
So,
Is what, yeah, but.
So I'll find that out. Part 2 is the lawn. I got in touch with Leo Fairbanks. He set up a meeting at Fabian was supposed to come, but he was sick, so his representative came, Terry came. And we talked about the lawn, and it appears that what they're gonna do is come in and strip the clover and some of the topsoil off, bring some topsoil from a different location, because they indicated that Jimmy's topsoil has a tendency to grow clover. Which, if they knew that, I don't know why they put it in the first place, but that's their problem. So they're indicated they were gonna talk amongst themselves and get back to us, but it may be within the next couple of weeks that they're gonna do that.
Okay.
And it won't be at any cost to the town.
do we have any functions going on this would be during the week sometime. We don't know when, but.
Well, when I talk to them, I'll ask them to work, try to do it on Wednesdays.
Try to do it on
so
Wednesday
it's
if possible.
It's traffic, I guess the assessors come in then. but-
I come in on Wednesdays.
Oh, Wednesdays.
Right.
Right. You had also, when we talked at the library planning committee, you talked about the possibility of the road crew doing some clean out of the ditching around the library, around the church. So if you could explain to Bill what you need done, we can see whether or not that would fit.
Philip, I guess, I don't know if he did it as a town employee or if they just did it on his own, I guess we whacked all of that. So in that ditch, it hasn't been weed whacked for probably 3 or 4 years anyway. So there's stuff that's died over the years, so there's, kind of rotted stuff in the bottom of it. And right now, it's not showing any water. When I looked at it with the weeds in it, the water was like that deep. So what he did alleviated the water, but there's still a buildup of stuff, and there's a lot of kind of heavy duty grass roots and weed roots that are in there, and I wonder if we just take, go down there, just get in there, take a clean up bucket and just kind of clean the bottom off.
Yeah, if the board allows me to do that, we can take on everything.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly appropriate. It's town property, it needs to be done.
Right, kind of thinking that just when you're down there, check on the other side of that culvert that goes across the road. There's probably a little bit of stuff there too.
Yeah, because I can remember we used to clean that ditch periodically because it takes some drainage from across
Yeah,
140, so.
so the last thing that I had is, I would volunteer, and Bill and I talked about it, of doing something out by the well, removing the Jersey barrier, doing something with the rocks that are up on the Reed family property. I can't tell you exactly what I do, because I kind of have to look at the rocks, and I want to check with Parker's again to see what he needed for clearance, so if something was done there, it wouldn't impede him if he had to pull a pump, but, I think I have the talent to do it. Terry can probably vouch for that, because he's done a lot of stone work up on my property.
You don't like that, the barrier,
No.
Not terribly attractive. There are some pretty nice pieces of marble up there. I went up and checked them out the other day, and you could also get some input with Philip too, but he does landscaping, I'm not sure. You know, it'd be good. Ask him, I'm sure we can do something it would be hard to make it worse, I guess. Put it that way.
I wonder how we've got the old marble pitching post up there that was broke out too. I wonder how it would be to
Oh, really?
set that in front
Oh,
of.
those are cool, like, there's one.
It's pretty broke off, but if we fasten that maybe to a square block and set it in front of the well, basically.
The old Stickles property had one of those, I forget if it was marble or granite, but the old hitching post by the house.
And it's still got the ring in it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool.
All right, so if that's
If
all
they're
right,
misbehaved, we could hitch them.
if that's all right with the board, you can go to Bill
Yeah.
and fill it.
Okay.
Perfectly appropriate.
It won't be next week because I think I'm gonna be hauling gravel, but we probably should wait until they get the lawn taken care of anyway, right? So they don't have to work around the.
Yeah, probably. I found out, this is town business, but it's library, if you can talk about that. I got a call, or I got an email actually yesterday from an electrician who wanted to make a site visit because the bids were due for the electrical package on the 19th. And I wasn't, and I checked with Jeff because it wasn't my impression that bidding was gonna happen right away, but apparently Naylor and Green felt that plans were complete enough to go out for bid and eliminate the preliminary step, and then, so it's they're actually gonna go through the bid process, and I talked to Tanner Romano this morning. They called for bids due on the 19th, but after we had a conversation, and they've had feedback, and questions on drawings and scopes of work from various and sundry vendors that they've talked to, excuse me, and there's gonna be an addendum that's gonna come out, but the bid date will probably get pushed into the first part of July.
Yeah.
And then at that point, depending on where the number is, they'll either come with a value engineering list or come with a draft contract.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that they're in a position yet to put together bid packages for the subs, because we may be adding to or reducing the scope of work. So it seems like something bids due on the 19th seems awfully premature.
What do you mean? by adding or reducing.
I mean, if the estimate comes back well above our budget, and we then start taking things out, all the subcontractors who put in bids now have to reevaluate what their.
Well, from the conversation I had is I think they're asking for value in engineering as part of the bid package. And
All the subs? Wow.
Yeah. And some of those, I've got to meet somebody else here tomorrow, and I've got a couple other calls already, so there's definite interest in putting pricing together, but, I think normally they would, they did it here without asking, but they knew what the parameters were, but they came up with a pretty substantial value engineering package. And it's pretty standard, I think, at least when I was doing it for contractor, construction manager to do that. And there are definite things in the electrical package that could reduce the pricing there. So, but I think the good thing about it is it'll pick up some time, plus the fact that there'll be real numbers instead of having some numbers that were generated that were maybe real safe numbers. Because when they did their price about a year and a half ago, I know the mechanical portion of their estimate was, I think it was 239,000, and GSK is doing it for 93, and plus it'll be another 30 or so for plumbing, so.
Good.
All right.
Thank you for your follow-up on all of those things.
All right.
Good night.
Give me like a day's notice or something when you're ready to start on that, and I can make that.
Yeah, why don't you do it the other way? Do it the other way, because
Okay.
I'm probably more flexible than you are.
All right, we'll do that then. Thank you, Peter.
Yeah.
All right. Highway.
Okay. We've been doing what we can, working around the road closures and other construction and everything, so I've replaced 3 culverts this week on Daisy Hollow Road, put some gravel on the road where it needed it up there in a couple of the areas. We've been filling potholes, trying to catch up with grading if weather permits. Actually, the roads aren't in too bad shape, really. Nothing's been fully graded. I'm dealing with a lot of downed trees, branches.
Yeah.
A lot of that garbage is going on with the wind and rain and everything that we've had. Do you want me to see if Jordan will do the guardrails for the same price as he's done the last 2 years? Have him do them?
What guardrails?
Hey, guys.
Thank you, Patty.
Nice, man.
About the mowing of the guardrails?
Yeah.
Weed whack on the guardrails, yeah, I would think so. Yeah. If you say it was on a while.
He's doing a real good job. I've been talking to him a little bit about, giving him a few more responsibilities as we go along to ease him into it. I don't think there's really much easing. He's pretty much 100 miles an hour. And one thing that I've been trying to iterate to him is slow down and think about what you're doing before you do it, because it's a lot easier to not have a problem and, maybe use a little more time and think about it. He's starting to get it. We did talk about, because like today, doing the culverts and me having to go with him to haul the gravel, to ride with him and stuff. That kind of ties up a piece of equipment at this end of the job. So I think Robert's talked to him about it a little bit too, but right now, it's kind of hard to find someone with a standard transmission truck and trailer that he could take his CDL on. He's ready. There's no doubt in my mind that he wouldn't have a problem passing it. But what we can do, if we allow him to use the town tandem, he can go get his CDL. The only thing he'll be restricted with an automatic, but that's something that he can do at his leisure to go get.
Right.
His add-ons. Yeah.
He does.
But at least he can drive. I wouldn't have a problem with sending him with the truck by himself now, other than he doesn't have a license.
Right.
But, I think if he did that, then at least even plowing, he'd be able to plow by himself then, because he can drive our automatics. So I think that would be a good step to get in.
Seems like it now.
So if it's all right with the board, I'll tell him to set up his appointment. Robert maybe can work with him a little bit on his pre-tripping, because I'm gonna be busy hauling gravel, so.
He's ready.
Yeah.
He's good.
Good. And I don't know if we're gonna be talking about it a little bit later, but you're talking about, having one foreman, one boss for the road crew. I think we should really be looking at him being it, because if we're gonna be looking at having a road commissioner be the road foreman, it's not gonna be permanent. Right. Because that's gonna change all the time. In 2 more years, it'll probably be me again. That's where my mind's at. That's where my mind's at right now, but we don't know. That's not a guarantee. So I would suggest that we start thinking about really focusing on having Philip working up to the road foreman position. If he's dedicated to putting his time in, and he's still got a lot to learn, and he knows he's still got a lot to learn, but he's coming on a lot faster than I thought that he would. I've seen him manage his own crew, and he does a good job at that. So I don't think that, he does have the ability. I've heard him tell them no. He's, as of his own business, he's conscious with his spending. He's not afraid to, he's bringing his equipment in all the time, stuff that we don't have. So he is a team player. But just something to think about.
Right.
And we do have a lot of overhanging stuff. You go up Daisy Hollow, it's gonna be hard to tailgate spread up through there, because there's a lot of, and we had problems the last 2 winters on that road with stuff hitting the mirrors and what have you. So I don't know, I know Terry's not the tree warden, but who's gonna be the one to say, okay? I would still take Terry's advice on how to go about it, and hire someone to come in maybe with a bucket truck and clear a path down through there. Get it on the ground. We can take care of it after that. But unless they have a chipper and clean it up as they go along. But
Yeah, they can do that. Should be part of the job. But if and when we do that, we ought to take down somewhere out here in the corner. And I'm not sure where the property line is exactly or whatever, but there's a box elder that leans out pretty good. And if that were to, it should be taken down anyway. It just get
that would get the power line, wouldn't it?
Well, no, it would hit this corner of the building there. They're just a complete piece of junk as far as the tree goes. But if we ever get to that, I can speak to David at the store. He cuts down, or he used to cut down a lot of trees when they worked on the car lines.
So,
Billy,
He wouldn't hug it.
Excuse me. You have a pole saw?
I do, but the problem with a lot of these, in order to get them, because they're high on the tree and they're growing down toward the road.
Yeah.
We can get the ends of them, but it's really not gonna, we're dumping. It's not gonna help us.
We had a problem in Ludlow, we would we put a guy in the box with the bolts off. It's too damn dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, where those limbs come, 75% of the time they come in the box.
Yeah.
Well, just really the only problem I see with that is, I've done it for years, but the trouble is if you have a low hanging power line that's in that stuff and you don't see it,
Exactly.
and you hit that with it, and it's not gonna be pretty.
No.
Other than that, I guess, unless there's questions.
Yeah, so, I mean, Carl's not here this evening. One of the things that I had on the agenda was the discussion of the nature of the work and compensation for road commissioner for the coming year. I still think that it's gonna be difficult to kind of draw the boundary of whose responsibility is what. I think the road commissioner absolutely should not be a field manager in any way. The road commissioner should be the facilitator of appropriate spending, but we're not sure how we do that. So I would like to have that conversation at our next meeting, but, because this is gonna be a big transitional year, right? The road commissioner is gonna have some work to do to help the crew move forward with purchasing, with vehicle repair, with scheduling. And I think that it's critical that we have an understanding what that job will be, because I think we don't know. I think that different people have different assumptions, and we should be on one page about it.
And just I'll give a little input, my input on that now. I've seen it before. I mean, I really don't think that the road commissioner should have any of the spending responsibilities under the road crew's budget. He should be writing grants and overseeing those projects. Money that he can generate for the town, by all means, he should be overseeing that. But what I've seen in the past, we've had road commissioners that were appointed, and the good old boys club kicked in, and we were having maintenance done that was going back for the same thing time and time again, because my buddy was making a damn good living out of town. And I don't want to see it go back to that, because I'm going to be sitting here in a couple of months. I'll probably still be at the meetings, but I'll be here as a taxpayer.
And you had a good point. It's a transitional position also. So I know it's a 3-year position, but by the time they get up to speed on how things work, they're potentially getting voted out. So yeah, just to keep that in mind as you guys formulate responsibilities.
I mean, as far as the spending of the budget, I don't see, I mean, really, the 5 people at this table are the ones that are doing the spending.
Responsible for spending. We could get input, we can seek recommendations or input, but yeah.
But you guys are signing the board
The
orders,
buck
right?
stops or should stop with us.
Mhm.
You'll be able to join in at 9 o'clock and get coffee over there.
I want to get there earlier.
That's where all the decisions are made.
Yeah, the trouble is, I probably won't be there long before I'm asked to leave there.
Yeah, so, and the other thing is, since it is an elected position, the public doesn't necessarily know what the road commissioner does and if they're qualified for it. They don't know that for any of us, really.
Right.
So you don't know who you're gonna get.
Right.
We think we don't have a, well,
Right.
yeah, you don't know who you're gonna get.
Mhm.
And if they're qualified to make
And that's
decisions
what I
or
brought
not.
up at the last meeting.
If you guys appointed, that might be a different story.
And if you're gonna do the job, you should be doing the job, and we just missed out on the 2 biggest significant grants that we would be in contention for the year. Because they went by not saying that we would get it, but I got those grants in the past just because I applied every year.
Right.
And other towns didn't apply, so we ended up getting the money.
You got them when you least expected a couple of times.
And those are things that need to be done, and someone's gotta be somebody's gotta be doing it. I mean, it's not like you can just pick and choose. There's some things that, even like I knew, there's very low potential of getting those 2 grants. But I would have applied this year anyway. It's not that hard to do. I mean, you get quotes on, what paving is going for, and figure out your quantities and that. Just pen to paper.
Right. All right. So, if you're done.
Yep.
133 is coming along well. Have you heard anything about an end date?
I think they finished today. I don't
Yeah.
think this is getting done.
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna do it, but
When you say this, were you talking about this little patch here?
from Buxton Avenue back in the intersection too.
Yeah.
Because back when they decided to do this and they were out marking this, I talked to the engineer out here and said, that we had discussed it when they were building the town office about getting the water to go where it should.
Mhm.
And he was marking it, and he said, I think it's on the scope, but don't hold me to it. And then when they marked it, I thought it was gonna happen.
Right.
Maybe that'll be the thing that slows people down. That one patch there, which is pretty crowded, right?
And the original communication we had from Brian Sings was that they were gonna stop at the Tinmouth border.
Oh,
So we've already gotten an extra
that's great,
mile.
yeah, I was
ahead,
wondering, yeah, I thought I heard somebody, okay, good.
So
kind of hate to complain too much.
we got some
While
extra.
they're at it, whether.
It would have been nice to, right in front of my house, it's horrible.
And the state,
You can
we're
look down
mowing,
3 lanes.
133 roadsides today.
Yeah, those
Right.
two kind of like biking, you get like lose a bike tire down those cracks.
Yeah, right. And as we know, the Pulteney, on 140 is now, the closure has been extended from this weekend to at least next weekend.
So what are they doing?
They're replacing some culverts and they're also doing some shoulder.
Bank stabilization.
Okay.
And they hadn't planned on that originally,
Mhm.
but when they decided that they were gonna do the 2 sections, that they wanted to do the bank in between them at the same time.
Mhm.
So it makes some sense, but it's a
Yeah.
tough time to do it.
Yeah,
I was gonna drop off one of my cards because I do offer consulting, but I just find it irate that I did one by myself in a day. Culvert about the same size and some of the same size.
Yeah, you are gonna sit on the porch. You are absolutely the guy that's just, I wouldn't done it that way. Yeah.
Well, I'm figuring if I'm gonna field the complaints for that mess down there, they should have hired me for their consultant.
It's got plenty of equipment over it.
The road never would have been closed down, I know that right up front, because there's already a temporary road around.
So Robert, I'll be in the office tomorrow if you want to stop by.
Thank you so much, much
Probably from
appreciated.
11 o'clock till like 2 or something like that.
Okay, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
sure, yeah.
You know, the consultants like seagulls, they fly in, they make a lot of noise, they shit all everything, and they fly away.
Kind of looking at
Yeah.
Are those your words or did you?
Oh, I've heard that years ago, yeah.
I can see
All right.
you making up something.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you.
Good night.
Sleep.
Yep.
You're probably still jet lagged.
A little bit,
Yeah.
yeah.
I am.
All right, so town lands, we got a little bit of an update on the town office, which is great. The library planning, as you heard from Peter, they're getting close to being able to put a first budget together. They've had the architectural drawings for about 3 weeks, so they think they'll have a budget for us in another week or so. WCAX was here yesterday to do a news report. Did an interview with Kimberly and with Crystal to have a look at the new building. They kept them out of the building because it's ugly. They showed them the old library and they showed them the exterior of the new library. But in another week and a half, I think it's Monday, the 28th or something like that, the Department of Libraries will be here. They're doing field visits to all their grantees to just see, what the project looks like on the ground. So they will be here, that's not a public event, it's not like they're gonna have a meeting, but they will be here to go through, get a sense of the scope of work, look at conditions as they stand, look at the existing library, talk to the library board. So that's going along pretty well. Crystal sent me,
Not June, 28th is a Saturday, it'd have to be the 30th.
and it must be the 30th.
It could be done the 26th. Anyway, not that it matters.
Let's see, from Crystal. Crystal sent me an update, she's away tonight. There it is. Demolition this Friday and next Friday. Most of the drywall's gone, they're taking a couple ceilings down next, downstairs, but it's going along well. So I was wrong, it's actually the 23rd is when they'll be here, so that's days. That's a Monday. I knew it was a Monday. And the adjacent alternate septic site, which is in between Hinterberger's and the cemetery, is going to be retested so that we can get updated plans done for increased capacity. The current plans are old and they don't allow for daily use. It's only permitted for weekly church occupancy. So if the budget goes well, the septic as a whole may be relocated to that site.
This is only selling that to Pleasant View Cemetery.
So there we go. Oh, reimbursement is going along well so far. Everything that's been sent in has been sent back quickly, like 2 weeks or less. So we've gone through, I think, 7 rounds of submittals. So that's what I can tell you about the library. Other town lands, I still haven't talked to Frank since I've been back about what he's up to with West Street. So I'll check in with him tomorrow and see, make sure he's gotten the drawings that he needs from Otter Creek and has a surveyor lined up to do that work. So the other thing that's under town lands is the proposed job description for facility manager that Isaac and Patty have been working on. So if you'd like to walk us through that, I have a copy of it here on my computer.
Yeah, I was just talking with Patty. Seems like every time we bring it up, we have a couple ideas of who it might be, but it's not going to really get anywhere unless there's a description. Again, kind of like the commissioner idea. So just putting it down in words, and this is absolutely just the first draft. We can mess around with it as needed, but and it would apply, as Patty brought up, it would apply to all town land. So the library is going to need the exact same thing when that gets done. And she was under the assumption that the board is not going to take on the same amount of responsibilities that she takes on here, right, for public stuff.
Right. And the garage will as well, and then we have a transfer station, so yeah.
So it makes sense to have if not one person, then a boilerplate description for any and all buildings.
And one of the things that we had to do when we applied, after we got the award for the library, is they have requirements for asset management. And so you have to demonstrate that you have recorded purchase, use, age, and disposition of major fixed assets. So that's an important part of this.
Yeah. Did we say earlier this says payment shall be a stipend? Did
I
say earlier that this was going to be hourly?
That's all. Yeah, I mean, I just
to be determined.
To be determined. Okay. One of the thoughts was that it hurt. So a stipend would mean, so like a lot of these responsibilities kind of start to like facilitate themselves in a way. Like if you kind of have them all on a list and you know, okay, it's 3 months, I'll call the guy or I'll go fix the filters, to like write down your hours for 10 minutes fixing the filter kind of thing.
Right.
But the earlier statements about a stipend is easily abused, I get that too.
Right.
But
yeah, I mean, so those, it reminds me of the work that I do. There are times when I work hourly if I'm doing a small job. But if I'm doing a big job, I will give them a fixed not to exceed. So I make $20,000 a year and I usually undercut myself grossly and, and that's how it goes.
Right.
So I would imagine if somebody wanted this job as a package, that they may give us an annual price to do that. And that would be acceptable, but.
Right, and we could go,
If it's an employee, then it would be hourly.
Mhm.
But if it's a contractor, they would contract with us.
and then the first couple of years, it could be a learning curve for both of us. So they could let us know how many hours they spend, and maybe not the 10-minute things like you say, or whatever, but that would all be factored in somehow.
Hey, Clara. Are you here for public comment? You're a little late.
No, it's a meeting over.
Hi,
I'm
Claire.
here for a dilemma.
Oh, what's up?
I suggested I come. This is my son, Ben,
Hi, Ben.
Hi.
Good to see you.
and these are the folks that would have the answer. We both feel awkward. So it turns out Waze doesn't have any mention of the Walton detour. We just
Oh,
drove
no.
here,
yeah.
but then in following the detour and not realizing what he was getting into, he took somewhere from Lake St. Catherine, went up over Dayton Hill Road.
Over Dayton.
Yeah.
You didn't come all the way through, did you?
Well, we didn't, but now his car is blocking Dayton Hill Road, which he thought, oh, no one goes through here, it'll be okay. I said, well, and people probably do. No,
Trucks and four-wheelers.
Yeah,
but he's bottomed out. So I can't-
Yeah, I think you'll be fine until daylight if you
Yeah.
can stay, if you're not in a hurry to get out tonight.
No, just as long as one, I'm not blocking anybody, and then just trying to figure out the best, means what service to hire to, get.
Yeah.
How far did you make it?
Funny enough, pretty far, like home stretch, and I have to pin exactly where my car is, so, yeah.
There's a couple, last time I went through there years ago, there was a couple of mud
Yeah,
puddles.
we go through some-
Oh, yeah, in case you don't need any evidence, but I really,
It's
just
a
like.
CB truck, I don't think I went through there with my own truck.
And even if you have AAA, they won't want it because it's,
Private, technically.
well, it's a class 4
yeah.
trail. It's, these are,
So any suggestion, here's where it is, compared to, or almost where it is within like a little bit.
Probably.
Then you show the road.
Well, and it will, if you zoom in, it'll say it. that
I was just wondering,
That's probably.
Yeah, I'll be able to vouch that.
Yeah.
I was just wondering where you were in relation
So
to
there's
the cars.
water wells,
Right.
and then here's a sharp turn in the road.
I haven't been over there in so long.
That's a bad sign, because it's a
Here
vision.
40 years, yeah.
Welcome back.
So
Here, need to break up the party like
Yeah.
this,
Right, just wondering where it was in relation to the town engineers there.
And so this is where Dayton Hill Road comes down into
Where I said
town.
I should go over.
This is where it comes out on Wells, and then all this hashed line is class 4.
Yep.
And it's not maintained.
It really.
So he made it most of the way.
Here's what ways.
Yeah, Waze does it.
Yes.
I made the turn.
But he said then Apple Maps does
Yeah,
that.
we went into Atlas Brookside.
You think
And
Tony
this
would have,
next area, they've been coming up the usual way.
you think Tony would have any equipment pull that?
Drove here from
I think Tony is.
south.
You got a tractor,
He's
you
right next
got
door.
an excavator. Did you come from Wells from this side?
Yes, sir.
So the road up to there probably wasn't,
You didn't go to Wells all the way, did you?
Well, it took a
well,
lot.
the Atlas Brook Road.
Yeah, so I came from that direction.
Right.
Yeah.
You walk from there.
Once, yeah, then I
So
kept going north.
did you see a CGI or, what is it, or CGI Concrete Professionals?
I think it was like,
Walk right through his yard.
ultimately, yeah.
So you're not too far from there, right?
No, no, the road gets kind of back to normal pretty much, like not far from where my car is.
Yeah.
Do you have room in front?
Oh, yeah, it's, you know, it's just.
What's your belly long?
Yeah, I have actually, I took a picture and video.
Let me take a look at it. I can go there in the morning and
Thank you.
suck you out of there.
Oh, man. That's, oh, man, guys.
Yeah, if you can't get him out, if it's too bad, probably Tony would, he's got his tractor right there at CPI.
Tony,
Yeah, Tony would help, I'm sure.
May I tell you, he drove all the way from Los Angeles without any trouble.
Right.
There's several of these in town.
Yeah.
I've had to turn 53-foot trailers around the top of North Road because it's trying to send them over through the West Road.
There's one on the tractor trailers on there.
Yeah, they're logging up there.
And
Don't ever
A
rely
year
on.
ago, I tried to drive Coy Hill in the mud season, not knowing, I didn't know anyone. And, I had to go 5 miles an hour in first gear the whole way, I was shaking like a leaf. And thinking, no one knows me, they don't think I'm in.
Oh, yes, that's good.
I'm sorry, you're.
There's a reason why chainsaw murderer movies are always set up in concrete.
Now, did you walk out the front side or did you go backwards?
I then kept walking forwards.
Yeah.
So I walked, up towards West
Yeah,
Road.
and then you get out by Parker.
Tony will have them out of there real quick.
Huh.
So who's gonna call Tony in the morning?
I'm happy that.
Tony, I know,
Tony
it's on
Junior.
my house.
Tony Junior runs a concrete and excavation company and has been up that road for 34 years.
Might want
It's 9:30.
to call, eventually call
I wouldn't call Barbie this time.
Yeah.
Tony be all right.
him early in the morning, so he knows his car.
And he's usually on the move around 6 or so.
Okay. I'm just thankful that you gentlemen are here, honestly, right now, to just check in with,
Yeah,
I was like,
seriously.
I was about to hop in the, just get this money off, and she's like, wait, hold that thought. And then once
I
I'm
have
here,
a phone book, yes, we do have a phone. So the person you're looking for
Yeah.
is.
I have one of those.
oh, nice.
So if he doesn't catch him in the morning, I'll take a ride up.
Yeah.
We'll get him up there.
Guys,
Thank you.
thank you.
What's your phone number?
Yes, sir, yeah.
What's your cell phone number?
Yep.
If the Toyota won't make it up,
First
then
you
the
go
old
to
Willie's.
That's right.
Where they all grow up.
What's your first name? Benjamin, or Ben.
Ben?
Yeah.
What's your phone number?
540
540
222
222
39
39
59.
59.
Welcome to Vermont, Ben.
I don't want
Yeah, no, that's
to, I don't want to stick my neck out, but, I mean, it would be a board decision. I could
So
work with that.
2765.
So it's 235 and it's 802.
You ran up there, there's probably 235, probably find something to do.
765.
Yeah, I can get you out of there.
Okay.
Especially if you walked out and it was a short drive, so you're not too far from Tony's. And the road is
that same.
pretty good. You went through the worst part.
Yeah.
I'm in the last bit of that work.
This will make it 10 days.
What do you got?
Oh, yeah, what do you have
Is
there?
it- yeah, I'll show- oh, yeah, should we go along the same line and show him?
It's not a little Honda.
Tesla.
It's a Subaru, but,
Oh, Subaru, okay.
it could be, wish it was a little higher off the ground in general.
Yeah.
The tires are flat, I'll show you. And it got to the point where I didn't want to, try to overdo it by just revving it and trying to go, I'm like,
Yeah.
it's not come off, I'm not gonna push it.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Professionals Incorporated is just his phone. So,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
We'll say, that's a Tesla, maybe we'll
Ooh.
set it on
I was like, no,
Thank
maybe
goodness
wanna
you
get-
stuck around. I'm surprised.
What's
Thank
that?
goodness you stuck around.
Normally that type of gap, like I would.
We'll get him out of there.
Space,
Couldn't do this in Los Angeles, especially not right now, but.
I thought at that point I would make it so that they turn around.
We're right on service.
That's
No,
not.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the trouble,
And
you
then
get
he
these places,
called me
there's
to
no
say,
place
I'm
to turn
I
around.
lost.
I was like, that's all a lot,
I have one more question.
Yes, sir.
Before you shut your car off, was it making any funny noises?
No.
So the muffler's still on
Yeah, honestly though, that's what I was like, all right, I don't want to.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody's going to go up and steal a catalytic converter, is it?
Yeah, well, that's it.
Probably a good thing you didn't get the road, the next road over, which is also a lot of times showing people the mountain road.
Yeah.
Oh,
Goes from Coy Hill over to Wells.
Yeah.
Ryan Barnhart lives on that road, and he was gonna take that road to go to Pullman, to go to work every morning. He took it one morning. And he's got a four-wheel drive pickup.
I drove it so
250.
often. I drove that kind of recently when it was dry.
Could be.
And it was, and just in my.
Did you go by a huge pond? Huge?
Well, it was, I mean, I walked up to Mountain Road and then stopped, but I remember driving back, why didn't I do that?
Who knows?
I
Why did I
was
do this?
showing-
The thing with mountain road, there's not the mud, it's just the
Yeah.
ledges.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
But
it'll really tear you up.
there.
You know, a hike maybe, right? Perilous hike sounds like.
Good mountain biking road.
That's cool.
Okay.
Well, guys, look, we'll get out of your hair, just like, big thanks.
Oh,
Like,
no worries. Good luck,
Yeah,
sir.
for real. And I guess, thanks you took that.
Hopefully we didn't become part of the minutes, but.
No, it would be, you
Do
know.
you want to be?
No.
Look back. We'll give them a call in the morning and just, you know.
I'll give you a call.
You give me a perfect, oh,
Good.
awesome, thank you so much.
We should wait for your call.
Robert.
Robert, and
My
handshakes on the road, guys, like.
We'll get you on.
High five, yeah.
Good luck. Good to see you, man.
You heard, never thought it'd be like this, man.
So should we wait for your call? You should wait
I'll
for
be
your
down,
call.
I'll be down.
I have a cell.
Yes, sir, yeah,
Okay.
all right, cool.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, good to see you.
Bye.
Thanks again. Yeah,
Good
good
luck.
Things you don't expect. All right, so the question I have, the description makes sense to me. The question I have is whether we think it would be more likely that we would find somebody to do this as an employee, maybe mixed with other duties, or whether it's more likely that we would have a general facility manager have this on as a contract, somebody like Jordan.
Yeah, I kind of wonder, I know Jordan does this type of thing, you know, for some out-of-state homes and
Right.
whatever he oversees, so it's kind of like right up his alley, but.
It's not unlike what David Fenton does for folks that have
Right.
EMTs, you know.
Yeah.
I'm betting that it would be more likely that we would have somebody do this as a contractor.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too.
I think in the town report, so I think what passed last, for the budget is something like $7,500 or something.
Right.
Which is probably a little low.
Might be shy.
This kind of thing, but so if it's listed like a general, put it out to the contracting world and see who bites kind of thing, but it might be someone that's willing to like, it's almost donating your time, like at that cost.
Right.
But that would just be for the next fiscal year.
Yeah.
I wanted to change that. And I think that, that $7,500 was also to account for this other role that Patty brought up, the accountant. And
Right, the board administrator.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna burn that $7,500 up in
Yeah.
no time at all.
Mhm.
Yep. No, it's not, we've already been here a long time, I'm gonna start. All right, thank you for this. I think the next step would be to try to develop this as an RFP. And say, you know, this is the scope of work that we hope you will conduct. And let us know, A, if you see things that you would do otherwise, and B, what your price would be. Yeah. Cool, thank you for that.
Yeah, that's a good start.
All right, Solid waste.
Oh, solid waste.
You'll see on my agenda in red. What happened with Hubbard?
I wish the hell I knew.
What's up?
They had egg all over their face. I don't know what I went up there, kept checking it, because sometimes they come Friday afternoon, so I wasn't too concerned, and I went up at, I don't know, 5 o'clock, I guess, or shortly there before then, and it still wasn't done. I said, this ain't looking good. Because he had taken the trash container, and they had unhooked the recycling compactor, and he had the canvas, that you covered up with and stuff. And so the full recycle was still there, the empty recycle was parked off on the side. So he was, flopping them out.
Right.
And that's the way it sat. So I went back again, I think at 8:30. Said, oh shit. Well, and like 5 o'clock there, when it wasn't done yet, I called. And of course,
Nobody's there.
left a message on the machine. And so anyway, we went up there. I went up first thing Saturday morning to give Amanda a hand, and they don't open till 8 or 8:30 Saturday morning. So I called them up and said, "What the hell's going on over here? We have no trash container." And the guy, "Hang on a minute." "What? Hang on a minute." He talks to somebody else and he says, "We really dropped the ball somewhere." I said, "Yeah, I guess you did."
Looks like, yeah.
"Truck is on the way," he said.
I suppose the driver got frustrated with having to deal with this and not being able, because they usually leave here and go towards the mall and just swap something out. Probably just said, "Oh, you can't get them."
So he didn't really have a good answer, and I, over the day or so, I was all hepped up on firing off a snotty letter and whatever, and then what's the point? But I would like to see if they can give us an emergency number or something.
Right.
Because they're a fairly good sized outfit. Can't believe that, that could have been could have been a big problem, I don't know, but anyway, we
Who ended up transferring the garbage into so you should at least be able to track the time to them.
Amanda and I, and she, you throw in pretty steady bags, so she was just packing it. But, so we filled the 1 ton.
She's doing a wonderful job.
Oh, she's a hell of an asset for us.
Yeah.
She's done a good job.
She does a nice job.
Yeah.
And
And she was humping them bags up in there, a lot of the heavy ones and stuff. I said, hell, just put them on the ground. We'll have a container here. Yeah, she puts them over her shoulder, we got one there.
Yeah.
One hand puts them over her shoulder, walks up, flips it up over the 1 ton. She's a worker. So I don't know what the hell happened, but somebody had a brain fart, I'll tell you that. So that's my solid waste story. I don't think I have anything other than that.
Fair enough. All right, let's go on to correspondence.
Correspondence, we have a flyer from SimQuest, and I don't even know what the hell that is, but they can look at it and we can throw it away. We have a newsletter from the Historical Society. Now this is one we've got to talk about. We have the letter from the Vermont Department of Taxes telling us based on the results of 2024 equalization study, the COD in Middletown Springs was outside the acceptable parameters. We already know that. Therefore, an order to reappraise is issued. The municipal CLA was 69.97%. COD was 21.07%.
Wow.
And there's a form here to, I think you can, what's the word I want, question this, check.
Right, you can appeal the decision,
yeah. But I think we know all that, and we're already beyond that because they've requested another flyer of some sort from Elon City. I don't know what that is. Looks like trash. This is an old one from Conservation Commission, so that's it. Here you go. This is our big topic in town. We've had from time to time, we've had lions and tigers and bears and whatnot. Now we have a family of foxes that have taken up residence at 577 West Street, the abandoned lot, 2 parents, 4 pups. Last week, they acquired 2 chickens from somewhere. Carcasses left at property. That's kind of what they do. They have to eat. Right. Vermont Fish and Game suggests that the town make the property inhospitable to them, scaring them off and boarding up the egresses.
Do they actually like come out on a gravel road? We put some cones out.
Put a speed sign up.
Little brown, have to go run them out with the dogs, and then we'll get a letter about the dogs.
Yeah, right. No foxes. My neighbor, Tyler Alexander, is also concerned because he has a small dog. I prefer to do what Fish and Game suggested versus having them shot, which according to Fish and Game, he has the right to do if they threaten his animal. This came from Wendy Mullen, so. Anyway, I was here the other day when I thought it was Tyler's wife came in. And I talked with her. And then I was down looking at the property yesterday and he flagged me down and and they said foxes are harmless, they're basically harmless, they gotta go somewhere too and whatever. Well, I've hunted every animal there is in Vermont, I was born and raised here, and if they get my little dog, then whatever, and he's called Fish and Game, and he's called the animal control officer, so anyway, his wife wanted the property brush hogged, because she wanted to know when it was going to be brush hogged. They said we usually do it in September before Big Dump Day. I said, I'll call Jordan and ask him to brush hog it. I said, that'll make it easier for him, not harder, because the grass won't be tall. He said, yeah, I know that, and they'll be able to see their mice and voles and whatever. Right. But he said, I'll be able to see them then, so I'll know. Okay, so we can brush hog it. I called and left a message for Jordan to brush hog it.
He called me at 4 o'clock in the morning this winter that there was a tree across the road on 140.
Oh, yeah.
So I go down, a rotten branch about that big that had been run over. It was right in front of Luke's. Mm-hmm. And I mean, there was nothing. They weren't blocking the road or anything.
Sounds like.
So I got back home and I called him back. Of course, he didn't answer the phone.
Yeah, he's sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Sounds like he needs a stool softener.
That's what he needs.
Poor foxes, I don't know. He said, I had family of foxes over in my garden a couple of years ago. Well, I'll trap these and bring them up if you want. Go ahead, okay.
They were in this little empty plot across from my house, and that was the coolest thing.
And they said, they're fun to watch. They climb out the windows there in the garage. It's
2 years in a row
And
across
they
from your
play
house.
and-
I was trying not to let anyone
Right,
know
right.
there.
Everybody from the post office sitting there watching them. Half the time you couldn't find a parking place at the post office.
I was taking photos.
Oh, they're really fun to watch. I said, there's absolutely nothing to worry about unless you have one that's sick, rabies, you can tell if there's something the matter with it. Other than that, they're harmless. And,
He says that even if they eat a couple of chickens, they don't realize those chickens are what bring the rodents in, and fox clean up a lot of
the
rodents.
roads. So anyway, nobody has a problem with that. It's in progress. What else you do? I'd be embarrassed myself to call the Fish and Game and to call
I think he's worse than the one that was there before.
What are we gonna do, foxes? You gotta do something with them.
Should have told him you're lucky the bowl isn't still next door.
I've had the same thing on the far corner of Pleasant View Cemetery several times over the years. There's foxes over there. People are, you gotta get these foxes out. Do something to the foxes. Well, they gotta live somewhere, but. Anyway,
Where is it?
that's my story, and I'll stick to it.
You know, we're in their backyard.
That's right. That's right.
All right, let's pay some bills.
There you go.
Well, no, I'm
The other day,
good for you. Welcome home, buddy. Good sleep. Good night, guys.
Good night, Robert. Thank you.
Thank you.
He thought he was a rattlesnake, shaking his tail, and he was pretty aggressive. I just took a stick, put him over in the stone wall where he could take care of what he's supposed to take care of.
Oh, I don't know. Sometimes it's comical, you know. Everybody wants to live in the country, and then if there's something, you know.
Sure, where he does his burnouts in front of his house, his neighbors don't like to hear that either. It don't seem to matter.
Well, like we said, you know, one of the ones that had the Airbnb, and they were afraid the bears are gonna come walking through, and they had guests there and stuff. I said, you know, you got people here from all over the country, somebody from the city, they'd be freaking thrilled.
They pay extra for that.
Well, you gotta consider though, she was from Colorado where the bears are a lot bigger.
Yeah, that may be true.
Yeah, that's where you see all these people in Yellowstone, oh, they're gonna go take a selfie with the buffalo, and I wonder why they get trampled.
Wasn't there one this week or something?
Yeah.
I forget, was it a moose or a bear or something? So,
I saw one this week where someone
yeah, there was something.
taking a selfie with a buffalo.
And you know, those things are, they're not pets. I see we got this must be the second half of our check for LHMP.
Yeah,
Hopefully that goes
that's
through,
the
right?
final, that's the final bill.
Hopefully that goes through before it gets.
That's right, they billed us in advance because
Yeah, that's right.
their work is done, but it has not yet been, received and approved by, emergency management.
All right.
They actually have made the changes that the emergency management recommended, so it's just waiting for them to stamp it.
Large trash day, 2099.
What did you say we're charging for mattresses now? $40?
45, and somebody else, I think it was Tim that said they were 23.
Oh.
So
There's a big problem in Lyons.
yeah, that takes a lot of space.
I'm surprised there's not more shredding before things go in.
You generate an awful lot of trash, and there's no good.
Did you see where West Rutland boys baseball pulled a couple of big upsets?
No.
Number 7, I took them to Arlington the other night, they were number 7, Arlington was number 2, they beat them.
Wow.
So they went to MSJ Wednesday night, MSJ was number 1, West Rutland beat them 9-0.
Wow.
So they, I don't know when they go the centennial.
Must be,
I think it might be tomorrow.
yeah, I was gonna say probably Saturday or tomorrow, pretty close. Cause they graduated, yeah, all that.
I just missed a couple of the green back.
You're in a hurry to get out of here?
Sorry. It's all good. X.
It's all good.
Oh, the rain garden's 80% complete.
Oh, really? Nice.
Just looking for some round, clean river rock to finish lining in. It didn't say come so I can put the culvert in.
Nice.
Boy, that had to be a rude awakening for him.
Yeah. Poor kid.
That's
And if he made it that far though, that's pretty, well, it's a super road. It's a super good thing. Pretty good. When we get to it, I'll move to approve the board orders.
I'll second that.
When you get back, or
Got back Sunday night about 10 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
So last couple of days, I just sort things out and get things squared away. But all right, all those in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. Any legal stuff going on now? Under other business, I had a note here to do first conversation over a job description for the board assistant, but I think it's too early to do that, given that the clerk and the treasurer will have some details to add to that. So I'm happy to defer that. Town office system, their water system, that's good. Yeah. So I was,
I'm sorry, real quick, when we brought up the RO, we're not going ahead with that just yet, right? Like that seems like an added thing.
Right, yes, I meant to ask you, because you seem to know a lot more about it than we do. That you can't get rid of the system that's there, it seems to be our bottom line.
Well, the RO would be in replacement of that to allow drinking water to one sink.
But the water here is already potable, it's already fine to drink.
Right, so we don't, an RO is an added expense that we don't need.
Right.
If we're okay with the fact that that system fills up our well and we have to pump it all the time.
Right.
Those are the two different things, basically.
Right. If we could completely, if the RO would completely solve the other
Replace
issues.
the other one.
And yeah, we wouldn't have to fill our septic with water, then we definitely, seems like the RO would be the way to go, but.
It doesn't seem like that's an option.
Doesn't seem like that's an option, correct, unfortunately.
Right.
And then even if it is an option, then we have to go back and get the permits and everything.
Right.
Seems like that's not doable.
yeah.
Right, but just diverting the condensate from the heat pump sounds like, that was 300 gallons
That should,
every, what is it, month?
Yeah.
In the hot season?
I forget what the heck it was.
I did not
That
expect
should,
that.
yeah, no, we can use it, that should help quite a bit. Yeah, 310 gallons a month in the high humidity.
Yeah.
So,
But I guess that was my only 2 cents on that, is that we're not, I don't think we should move forward with our own under the sink without doing a lot of other stuff.
Right.
That's not
That
gonna
makes sense.
right,
That's it.
you tried.
Yeah.
Till,
I mean, frankly, if it's washing out every 14 days instead of every 3 days, we're already down to a fifth of what we had before. So
Right.
that's a huge advantage of it.
Right.
Not why it's flushing itself every 3 days, God knows. All right,
facilities manager would know.
That's right.
I will move to adjourn.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, 9:54.
Mhm.
I really do think we ought to set up a tavern in here. These meetings are like the Moose Lodge. It's like the only time you get to leave home and talk to people.
Yeah, you never know who's gonna wander in.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, yeah. He was not ready for that in his flip flops.
Yeah.